about the time we would have started racing, yeah, she unleashed. So fortunately, though, with Kokomo, their schedule is so flexible, and the O'Connors and everybody here are so great. We were able to move it to a Saturday, Sunday, and something about Sunday at Kokomo feels right.
It does. I mean, you look back through the history of Kokomo Speedway, Sunday feels right. But like you said, Brian, Mother Nature made it pretty clear to us early in the day we weren't going to get this one in. And once again, tip of the cap to everybody here at Kokomo Speedway, rescheduling this for now instead of a Friday, Saturday, Sunday show here at Kokomo.
Of course, Saturday night, what better place to be than Indiana's best bull ring? And speaking of that, a lot of great things going on with the series coming into our opening event. One of those with Kevin Thomas Jr. And in this case, we didn't talk to Kevin. You had a chance to go talk with Rex, who is the man behind the curtain, shall we say. He's part of Four Kings Racing, gets everything together, puts everything up and down the road. They have a great partnership this year, and I call it a partnership because that's exactly what it is. Yes, it is a sponsorship on KTJ's number 14 with the Purple Heart Foundation, but it's also an incredible fundraiser for that foundation, and it's one that's incidentally close to the heart for the entire team.
Absolutely, and we'll hear from Rex here in just a second, but I agree with what you said, Brian. It is a sponsorship inherently, yes, but it really feels like what you said, more of a partnership, and really cool to see this come together with Kevin Thomas Jr. And of course, you look at this team's recent history, they almost snuck into the championship picture. I shouldn't say almost, because they were in the championship picture last year.
I was going to say, they were in the picture. They were not on the edge of that Polaroid. They had shaken their way towards it, and they've got great momentum coming in because they almost snuck into victory lane at the Chili Bowl this year.
You stole my exact point, Brian, and they were on the podium so many times last year. Yeah, sure, most of them with Kevin Thomas Jr., but now their new full-time driver, Jacob Boxell, on a part-time schedule last year, snuck on the podium too. So I'm really curious to see what this team has, not only for this weekend here at Kokomo, but for the entire season.
Great team, great partnership. Let's hear what Rex had to say.
Here with Rex Turner, one of the owners of Four Kings Racing, and a very special and important thing going on here during the 2026 season with the Purple Heart Foundation joining Four Kings Racing, specifically on the 14 car driven by Kevin Thomas Jr. Once again, like I said, we're joined by Rex Turner. And Rex, this foundation has a very close and meaningful personal tie with you. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my uncle, two-time Purple Heart recipient, 3 tours in Vietnam, prisoner of war, just it means so much to be able to carry the foundation on the car and represent the millions of veterans across this country, and especially this year being the 250th anniversary of obviously our country, it means a lot.
You guys now expanding to 2 full-time cars on the tour here in the 2026 season. Kevin Thomas Jr., as I said, already back on the team, and Jacob Boxell coming on for the full tour. Just talk about all the exciting things going on with Four Kings Racing right now, specifically on the midget side of things.
Yeah, so, obviously KT, this is his second real full-time season with us. We're expecting big things from him. Hopefully, it's championship or bust. We're gonna wear that badge of honor this year. Pressure is what we're gonna excel on, and Jacob has obviously been with us from inception. JB's done a really good job. He started building the cars, went through the transition from the old chassis to the new chassis, shock package, ran some select shows for us last year, and really did an awesome job for us. And we wanted to give him a shot. As a 20-year-old kid. He has a lot of potential, and we're looking for big things from him this year as well.
I know you said championship or bust. That's the overall goal. But last year, you look at how many times, specifically the 14 car ran in second place. How big of a goal is it to finally get that first win here for the Four Kings Racing Group here in 2026?
It's important, obviously. You got to win races to win the championship. But, what KT really excels at is consistency. He is so good at being able to bring home a 7th place car on a podium. He is such a professional driver with great racecraft. So we're looking obviously to get some wins. That's obviously why we come. That's the goal. But the overall goal is, after PRI, we want to be standing on the stage holding the big trophy. That's our goal.
They're big goals, but they're very attainable for Four Kings Racing here in 2026. Once again, Rex Turner talking about the great cause with Purple Heart Foundation and what they're excited for here in 2026.
So really just an awesome partnership with Four Kings Racing and the Purple Heart Foundation. And it was cool to hear from Rex's point of view.
Absolutely. And, on our show, sometimes it's, yes, a little bit about the drivers because that's what people tune on to see, but the stories and people like Rex is what makes this series so awesome.
Another driver you had a chance to talk to, of course, driver of that NOS Energy Drink number 87, Mr. Justin Grant. And last year, Justin, remember, there was that carrot, that $500,000 carrot to win all 3 of the championships. And he was in line to potentially get that done. Unfortunately, the injury at Lawrenceburg, that sidelines him, takes him out of championship contention on the midget and the sprint car side. He does still get the championship in Silver Crown, but him and Chad, that partnership really building, really gaining momentum, and even trying to overcome everything last year, they got over a lot of hurdles and they got a lot of momentum and a lot of comfort between owner and driver and owner and crew chief. You know, I know you started off the interview asking, man, is it your year? You have to wonder with that kind of momentum and then with what they showed even before the season starts.
You're absolutely right, and I mentioned it also in the interview. Coming into this weekend last year, they had one chili bowl to work with each other, learn what the other person likes, how they communicate. Well, this year, now they have 2 chili bowls and 1 full USAC National Midget season, and let's not forget, Justin won during this weekend last year, too. Of course, the winningest driver here in sprint car competition was finally able to get that monkey off his back of winning a national midget race here, too. So I feel like, yes, exactly what you said, Brian, a lot of positive momentum going into this season for the 87 bunch.
See what the 3-time track champion can do. Let's hear from Justin.
Justin Grant rejoins the trail with CB Industries here in 2026 after finishing runner-up in the points last year. Of course, after that first USAC National Midget title to complete the Triple Crown. Justin, I know you got to be tired of getting this question, but do you feel like this is the year you finally complete the Triple Crown?
Yeah, as good a shot as any, right? Felt like we were putting together a pretty good year last year, and then had some hurdles there to overcome, and just didn't do a good job out west at the end of the year, and kind of let it slip away from us. But I feel like Chad and I are really on a good page together now, and working really well together, and yeah, I'm really excited to kick this year off and get going. I felt like we were really strong at Chili Bowl, and hopefully kind of carry some of that into this year and a little bit of the momentum that we had from last year as well, and be in good shape.
You talked about your car owner, Chad Bode, and last year coming to the USAC Midget season, you guys really only had Chili Bowl to figure each other out and work together. Now you've had 2 Chili Bowls and a full USAC National Midget season to kind of figure each other out. How much more confident are you, not only in your ability, but the car and the team's ability to deliver each and every single night and maybe get that first USAC National Midget title?
Yeah, really confident and feeling like we're in a lot better place. It's there's always a little bit of like touch and go on trying to figure out how to communicate with each other and how to relay to Chad what I need and some of that back and forth that goes with the driver, and Chad's the owner and the crew chief, and so a lot of that gelling of a driver and the crew chief, and so I felt like we're really getting on the same page and getting to where we're communicating well and figuring each other out.
Last year, you finally got your first USAC National Midget win here at the Kokomo Speedway during this event, and obviously you got this place more than figured out in the sprint car, but do you finally feel like you're in a really good spot to contend for wins each and every single time you're at Kokomo, but in the Midget?
Yeah, definitely. The Midgets, it's a lot different getting around here in the Midget than it is a sprint car, just kind of the way you drive it, the way you kind of attack the corners with the Midget, and it almost makes it, sometimes it's a little hard, like a place that you're really, really familiar with in a sprint car is almost sometimes like almost a hindrance when you get in the Midget, because you're so used to doing it a certain way, and that habit's so ingrained that you really have to like kind of put your mind towards like breaking those habits when you get back in the Midget. And so it's funny, a lot of you think places that you have more experience, you're going to be just automatically better in everything. And sometimes it's not quite that way. Sometimes you got a lot of habits from the other car that don't apply as well. And but no, I love Kokomo Speedway and getting a win here in a Midget. I'd been close a few times, but getting a win here in a Midget last year was really cool. And always kind of one of those things just bugged me just a little bit that I didn't have one, So I love Kokomo Speedway and loving racing with CBI and Chad and all those guys. And they're giving me great race cars, and really excited to kick this year off with them and NOS Energy Drink and all the partners on the 87. Hopefully we get them to victory lane a few more times than we did last year and come home with a championship.
Justin Grant is reloaded for the 2026 season when CBI. It begins here tonight at Kokomo.
Again, welcome everybody to tonight's presentation of the United States Auto Club featuring the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. Night number 1 of the 2026 season brings 25 drivers to bear here at Indiana's baddest bull ring. Of course, a Saturday-Sunday presentation now here with the Kokomo Grand Prix. If you haven't done so, make sure and make your way out to where all the souvenirs and merchandise is set up. Of course, not only can you find USAC gear and apparel, you can also pick up the newest edition of the Triple Crown Annual, $5 while supplies last. For only $1, you can also get the roster for tonight's lineup of drivers. Again, all of that available at the USAC merchandise trailer. When you're making your way around Merchandise Row, of course, there's all kinds of drivers and teams set up back there as well. Cale Drake, Jacob Boxell, Gavin Miller. Fort Sin Promotions with Kevin Thomas Jr., CJ Leary, and Jake Swanson apparel available here tonight. Logan Seavey, Mitchell Moles, Justin Grant, Robert Ballou, Colton Robinson, and of course a complimentary NOS energy drink awaiting you at the main entrance. Make sure and swing by and grab yours while your flavor is still in stock. High performance racing demands high performance energy. That's NOS Energy, fueling USAC's fastest drivers and fans all season long. Make sure to stop by the sampling booth to get your complimentary can. Cookout presents always fresh, never frozen burgers, barbecue, hot dogs, all cooked fresh every day. And you can get this over 40 different flavors of shakes, all prepared fresh and made by hand every day. It's all yours. Find a Cookout location near you. Go to cookout.com. Cars begin to make their way out to the racing surface for wheel pack. Then we'll roll into our dirt draft hot laps. 21 non-wing sprint cars on the card tonight to go along with our 25 drivers with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. Sunoco, as the world's largest manufacturer of racing fuels, has been the standard of motorsports for over 50 years. Known for innovation, consistency, and high performance, Sunoco Fuels has been the choice of racers from grassroots tracks to premier international series. CarIQ has created a payment solution aimed at fleets that allows cars and trucks to connect to gas pumps to pay for fuel without the need of a fuel card or a credit card. CarIQ Payment Solutions, better known as CarIQ Pay, replaces fleet card products and protects against fraud while significantly reducing back-office vehicle reconciliation. Learn more at gocariq.com today. Well, there's still time to set your dirt draft lineup. Download the app today. Set up your league and play against your friends, family, and even your neighbor. Remember, there is now 3 different levels. You've got the Pro League, the Veteran League, and the Rookie League. And they also offer predictive contests. Every new subscriber and reactivating subscriber gets a 25% off gift card to the Hoosier Tire online merchandise store. And, of course, tonight we've got Driver v. Driver. Drake, who do we got?
Thank you so much, Brian. And to answer your question, we got Jacob Boxell going up against Gavin Miller. And you talked about the 3 different lobbies you can play in. If you want to play against the USAC drivers, just make sure you sign up in the Pro Public lobby on Dirt Draft. So with that being said, let's get into our driver selections. Jacob Boxell on the left-hand side of your screen. He's at USAC Driver 1. He's chosen Kevin Thomas Jr. himself, Gunnar Setzer, Shelby Hinton, and Todd Kluver. His opposition tonight, Gavin Miller at USAC Driver 2 in that Public Pro lobby. He's chosen Justin Grant, Jacob Boxell, Brecken Reese, Rylan Gray, and Bradley Cox. And Brian, you've talked about it numerous times throughout this season, but tip of the cap to our friends at Dirt Draft for introducing so many cool things here in the 2026 season. Once again, make sure to enter the pro lobby to play against your favorite USAC driver here tonight at Kokomo.
Indeed, thank you very much. Hoosier Tire's mission is to be the dominant customer-driven provider of racing tires to teams domestically and internationally. For more information on the tires designed for champions, go online to HoosierTire.com. The K&N Clean Air Award is presented to the driver who leads the most laps during each USAC National A feature throughout the 2026 season. The award is designed to recognize sustained performance at the front of the field where engine efficiency, reliability, and meticulous preparation are at a premium. Shop for your vehicle or even your home now at knfilters.com. K1 Race Gear is proud to be one of the very few companies to outfit any driver from kids at K1 Speed to USAC champions. With priorities on safety, quality, and comfort, K1 ensures every driver feels confident and prepared to pursue their racing dreams. Wear K1 Race Gear and join the list of champions today. TJ Forge Wheels is founded to build the best, no compromise, forged wheels for the motorsports industry. Product quality, safety, and customer service are the driving factors for TJ Forge, and they are committed to being your first and only call for racing wheels. Go to tjforge.com to get started today. The new standard of sprint car body technology is here, engineered with optimized airflow and maximum downforce and increasing horsepower, and is available in multiple high-performance material options, so every team can build the right body package for their program. Go to 5starbodies.com to get started today. Whether you're running a go-kart, a micro, midget, modified, sprint car, late model, silver crown, or even a tractor, Rod Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you to lead the field performing to your maximum potential. Remember, they don't just sell them, they race them. Go to rodsupply.com for more information. Parallax Group offers world-class power supply products to the RV industry. Parallax Group delivers high-quality assembly and manufacturing solutions in North America that exceed client expectations, focusing on quality and efficiency to ensure their products lead the industry. Go to parallaxgroupinc.com for more. MPI takes every aspect of construction and safety to heart in the most accurate and dedicated way possible. Before becoming an MPI product, structures must pass their internal quality control tests. Safety in construction R&D is paramount to all MPI innovation products, including steering wheels, gloves, and seats. For more information, go to maxpapisinc.com. Any Metal Finishing's mission is to support their customers with an exceptional level of quality and service. Any Metal Finishing offers Type 2 and Type 3 anodizing chemical conversions, passivation, and electroless nickel services to motorsports, medical, military, and aerospace industries. Visit them online at anymetalfinishing.com to learn more. The Mike Curb USAC National Driver Championship returns for the 2026 season with its highest payout ever. A $20,000 bonus is awarded to the driver who accrues the most combined points across each and every points-paying USAC Silver Crown, Amsoil National Sprint Car, and NOS Energy Drink National Midget Series event. Justin Grant, the defending champion and most recent winner last year, took home $15,000. Again, that pot increased this year to $20,000. Indy Power Sports offers the vehicles and equipment you want, plus the service and parts you need to keep them running in top shape, including ATVs, electric bikes, motorcycles, and utility vehicles. Browse their full inventory and see everything they have in stock, both new and used, at indy-powersports.com. Indy Power Sports, the four-wheeler and side-by-side provider of the United States Auto Club. Make sure to follow along this evening on the My Race Pass app. Rosters, lineups, results, and live timing and scoring when you purchase your premium membership. You can also find us on X, Instagram, and Facebook. On Facebook, simply search for USAC Racing. On X and Instagram, at USAC Nation. A reminder, anything you see on social media as well as the My Race Pass app is unofficial. All official news, notes, points, stories, and more are done at the close of tonight's program at USACRacing.com. Sprint cars continuing to make their way out to the racing surface. Again, 21 non-wing 410 sprint cars on hand here tonight at the Kokomo Speedway. 25 drivers on hand with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. For those of you just joining us here in the grandstands or online with the FloRacing broadcast, remember, when you can't be there live, you can always find the United States Auto Club National Touring events on FloRacing, the official live online broadcast provider of USAC Racing. Since 2019, it's always the big question on social media. Is it on Flo? The answer, yes. Every race, every time. So we're able to, before the races, get a word with Rex down at Four Kings Racing and talking about the Purple Heart Foundation. Of course, Kevin Thomas Jr. driving the Four Kings race at number 14 with the Purple Heart Foundation alongside. Now, we talked about not only is that a sponsorship, it is a partnership, it is a fundraising effort for the Purple Heart Foundation and Kevin Thomas Jr. $14 per shirt sold. Again, $14 from every t-shirt that they sell, whether it's at the track or at shopktj.com, will be donated to the Purple Heart Foundation. So a great cause and a great effort by Four Kings Racing, Kevin Thomas Jr. and everybody. Make sure and go down, visit Whitney down there, and get your Purple Heart Foundation Kevin Thomas Jr. t-shirt. Again, $14 off of each one of those shirts being donated back to the Purple Heart Foundation. Continuing to work down the racetrack, looking ahead on the schedule for the United States Auto Club. Things about to get very, very busy. Of course, racing returning here tomorrow, night number 2 of the Kokomo Grand Prix. Then the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship back for 2 nights. Bloomington Speedway on May 1st and the Clash Track Tri-State Speedway on May 2nd. Silver Crown Series kicking off their season. Practice on the 8th, racing on the 9th. 100 laps around Hutchinson, Kansas. Let's Race 2 at Eldora Speedway, May 15th and 16th with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. Tickets on sale at eldoraspeedway.com. Back to the Terre Haute Action Track on May 20th. Circle City on May 21st. Silver Crown with the goes onto the pavement for the first time in 2026. The Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park, that'll be on May 22nd. And then, of course, the Avante Windows and Doors Corn Belt Clash, Knoxville Raceway in Knoxville, Iowa, ending out the month of May. And KnoxvilleRaceway.com is where you want to go for more information and to purchase your tickets. Of course, you can see these and every event when you go to USACRacing.com. All the schedules are on there, and one of the neat things that Richie has done this year is he has added the combined schedule So instead of having to click from tab to tab to tab, you can click that one part and see the entire national lineup top to bottom. Again, that is all available at USACracing.com. Getting a look at Robert Ballou in the number 12 machine, making his way around to the front straightaway. Of course, winning the BC double last year behind the wheel of the number 12. Looking down the lineup of 2026 events, here's another one you really need to have on your radar, and of course that is Worldwide Technology Raceway during IndyCar weekend. The Out Front Route 66 Classic, presented by Welsh Heating and Cooling USAC Silver Crown Competition, is the lead-in on that Sunday to the NTT IndyCar Series. So a great ticket. That is taking place on Sunday, June 7th, and that is right before we kick off NOS Energy USAC Indiana Midget Week. So definitely a lot of great things on the calendar. Eastern Storm presented by Yokohama Tire following that. If you think things are getting busy now, wait till we get in the month of June. It's easier to tell you how many days we are not racing versus what we are racing. Only 11 days on the calendar in the month of June do not have a USAC National Touring event. So again, you can find more information on all these events, whether the location, the payout, the rules package, everything at USACracing.com. Speaking of payouts, $50,000 up for grabs in point fund during Indiana Sprint Week this year. And oh, by the way, every night paying $10,000 to win with an average, let's say, of 40 cars per night, of course, minus the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which is a 30-car field. Nearly $350,000 in purse money, plus another $50,000 in point fund, not to mention all the other bonuses that crop up during the running of Indiana Sprint Week. So nearly $400,000 going to be paid out over this year's running of Indiana Sprint Week. A lot of money, a lot of great drivers, and a lot of action going to be going on all across the Hoosier State. Eastern Storm, a $24,000 point fund. Again, Yokohama Tire, the presenting sponsor of that one. And to be the champion of USAC and sprint car competition, $60,000 to the champion, a point fund of nearly $300,000 just on the sprint car side of things. Max Pappas Innovation Rookie of the Year, a $5,000 check and an MPI steering wheel. The Parallaxer Passing Master, a $2,500 bonus. K&N Clean Air Award, $100 per night to the driver leading the most laps, $150 from Rodin Supply. All of the money, all the great things, of course, Learn Lab qualifying, also $150 that take place throughout the entirety of the 2026 season. Sprint car hot laps just about ready to get going here. Jake Dalton, the voice of Kokomo, going to step up here for just a moment.
Thank you very much, Brian. Good evening, race fans. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome again to Cookamo Speedway. Welcome to Indiana's baddest bull ring. As Brian said, my name is Jake Dalton, track announcer here at Cookamo Speedway. And we thank you all so much for being here, tuning in. It's going to be our Kokomo Sprints opening things up here tonight. We will be running some group qualifying before we jump into the Knots in a Drink Midgets National Championship. As I said, my name is Jake Dalton, track announcer here at Kokomo. And here at Kokomo Speedway, we are going to be joined by a new announcer as well up here in the booth, and he's going to be helping us out during post-race interviews and whatnot. I am joined up here in the booth by Mr. Dalton Bishop. How you doing, Dalton?
It's good to be back here at Indiana's baddest bull ring, Jake. This place is absolutely phenomenal. Looking forward to seeing these Kokomo sprint cars put on one heck of a show.
They are going to put on a heck of a show. We are always proud to be on the card here tonight when USAC is in town. Group 1 is going to be making their way out onto the track right now for the Kokomo Sprints. Taking a look at Group 1 right here, we are going to have Kevin Thomas Jr. He is the man that got the win last year here in Night 1. Night 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix last year, Kevin Thomas Jr. did get the win. It was him and Robert Ballou duking it out with laps winding down here last year. We'll see who can get it done here tonight in our first one. Kevin Thomas Jr. in the 3R, Trey Osborne in the 6T, Derek Hastings in the 32M, Jake Swanson in the 47, Robert Ballou, the Madman in the 12 car, Dalton Stevens in the 2BX, and Jack Hoyer in the 57. 7 cars out here for Group 1. We got some USAC AmSoil Sprint Championship car winners in there. What can you tell us about this first group, Dalton?
Yeah, Kevin Thomas Jr. from Coleman, Alabama, fresh off of a win last weekend with the USAC CRA Series at Central Arizona Speedway. So a little bit of momentum coming into Kokomo here tonight. Trey Osborne from Columbus, Indiana. He's had some engine issues here as of late, but looks like he's got those things straightened out. Picked up his first USAC AmSoil National Sprint Car win earlier this year down at Ocala. So good to have Trey Osborne with us here tonight. Jake Swanson, another USAC winner this year down at Volusia, the driver from Anaheim, California. So he's going to be one to watch, and of course, you got to keep an eye on the Madman, Robert Ballou.
Madman, Robert Ballou, Kevin Thomas Jr., they were the ones that duked it out for the win on Night 1 last year. We are going to the green, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thanks everyone for being here, whether you're here at the track or you're watching live on FloRacing. This is Group 1 for the Kokomo Sprints, and they are about to take the green, qualifying and to get underway here at Kokomo Grand Prix Night 1. Last year, we saw Cale Drake take the fastest time during group qualifying here on Night 1. He's not in the field here tonight, so we'll see who can grab fast time. Harley Burns ran a 12.858. 12.858 was our fastest time of the year last year in group qualifying. In group qualifying, Harley Burns ran a 12.858. We will see who can get it done here tonight as these guys turn their first laps. We are going to see three groups here for the Kokomo Sprints as they come out here and run through their group qualifying. Yellow flag is going to fly here just like that. And they are going to get ready to fire away here for our Group 1. And again, thanks everyone for being here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It is opening night here at Kokomo Speedway in Indiana's baddest bull ring. It's our first night of the year, and it is the first night of the year for the NOS Energy Drink Midgets National Championship. They will, of course, be our main event here tonight following our Kokomo Sprints.
And Jake, I forgot to mention Jack Hoyer, the Frankfort, Indiana driver, back with Paul Hazen and the famous 57 here at Kokomo. He was awful fast here last year on a weekly basis here at Indiana's baddest bull ring, and so far he's right up there with Robert Ballou and Kevin Thomas Jr. Time so far. Robert Ballou 13.977, Kevin Thomas Jr. 14.051, and Jack Hoyer, as we'd mentioned, he's third right now with a 14.175. So keep an eye on that 57.
So 13.977, 13.977 for Robert Ballou. These guys are going to go back to the green. Kokomo Sprints group qualifying. First group back to the green. Can Robert Ballou stay up at the top? Can anyone steal away top time? First laps of the year getting turned right now here at Indiana's baddest bull ring as the Kokomo Sprints come out here for group qualifying action. As we said, last year, Night 1, it was Robert Ballou and Kevin Thomas Jr. that put on a heck of a fight down to the wire for Night 1 last year. We saw Kyle Cummins take a big-time dominant victory in Night 2. That was 2025. We are here in 2026 to see who can get it done. Checkered flag flying here on Group 1.
Don't forget to mention here, Jake, that the inversion is a 4. So right now, Jake Swanson would be on the pole of heat race number 1. So taking a look here at session number 1, quickest overall in that group, Robert Ballou at 13.121. Trey Osborne was second at 13.246. Kevin Thomas Jr. third at 13.247. And Jake Swanson, he hits the invert, which is a 4 here tonight at Kokomo. His time of 13.290. Dalton Stevens was fifth quick in the 2BX, 13.838. Jack Hoyer was sixth, 13.923. And Derek Hastings was seventh at 14.669. Group 2 rolling to the Speedway.
So Robert Ballou, the Madman, starts it up at the top. No surprise there, as he is always a fast driver here, always a fast competitor. Robert Ballou took home 2 feature wins, 3 heat wins last year here at Indiana's Baddest Bull Ring. He will be looking to take home a heat win and a feature win here tonight. And of course, that will be the question as it is opening night here at Kokomo Speedway. Who can take home our very first feature of the year for our local Kokomo Sprints? Group number 2 is going to roll their way on, and we will take a look here at group number 2 once they make their way out. But Kokomo Sprints still up here on the card now. And again, as I said, it is opening night for the Nos Energy Drink Midgets National Championship as well. We thank everyone for being here this Saturday night and Sunday night, as we got rained out last night. That was exactly how it went last year as well. We had to be here for a Saturday and a Sunday, but glad we are here for the Kokomo Grand Prix as 2022, 23, and 24. Mother Nature got the win against this event for 3 years in a row, but we got to have it last year. We are here for back-to-back years of the Kokomo Grand Prix. Looking forward to Group 2 for the Kokomo Sprints. As we await for Group 2 to roll their way on, as I've said, reminder, ladies and gentlemen, this is our first night of the year here at Kokomo Speedway, and we are in action again just a couple weeks from tonight, May 8th and May 9th, Friday and Saturday. High Limit is in town those 2 nights for the All-Star Circuit of Champions, the Driven to Save Lives Brian Clausen Hero Classic. Make sure you are here for that, ladies and gentlemen. That goes down Friday and Saturday, May 8th, May 9th. High Limit is in town right here at Indiana's Baddest Bull Ring. Group number 2 going to roll their way on. We'll take a look at group number 2 and their drivers as they begin to roll their way on. Group number 2 is going to feature Zach Pretorius in the 9Z, Adam Taylor in the 8T, Shelby Hinton in the 2B, Camden Winter in the 84, Jackson Sloan in the 16, Rylan Gray, another driver that's grabbed some feature wins here, Rylan Gray in the 06, and David Hare in the 44. What can you tell us about Group 2, Dalton?
Yeah, Zach Pretorius, obviously you mentioned him first, the driver out of Yorktown, Indiana, the Beast Unleashed, T.A. Smith Distributing, Pizza King, Oak Motors, Hoosier Roots. All on the side for Zach Pretorius out of Yorktown, Indiana. Keep an eye on him in the 9Z. Picked up a win last year at the Bloomington Speedway in a weekly competition. Also picked up a win with the Midwest 410 Sprint Car Series down at the Circle City Raceway. So Zach Pretorius always fast in the car number 9Z. Adam Taylor worked his way up from the USAC D2 Midget Series all the way up now into a non-wing sprint car. Good to have him with us. Of course, keeping an eye on the 2B of Shelby Hinton, back racing with Scott Bennick, Pendleton Farms. Bennick Enterprises entry right there past the flag stand in car number 2B for Shelby Hinton. And then you mentioned it already, Jake, Rylan Gray has been fast. He's been really good here at Kokomo. I imagine he probably picks up right where he left off last season and with a lot of speed.
Always a car that I keep my eyes on, the 06. Rylan Gray out there always brings a lot of speed here at Kokomo. Knows how to get around well. Sometimes he's got to race his way in through the B main. We've seen him win some B mains here before, so we know that 06 out there from Rylan Gray brings some pace. Did grab a heat win last year, did Rylan Gray, as well as Zach Pretorius. Both our drivers here in this second group that was able to grab a heat win last year. And they are going to be chasing down Robert Ballou. Robert Ballou is still the man they are chasing down. 13-1-2-1. 13-1-2-1 for Robert Ballou is still the man they are chasing down. Trey Osborne, Kevin Thomas Jr. round out the top 3. Jake Swanson ran a 13-2-9-0 for Jake Swanson in 4th. So 13-1-2-1 for Robert Ballou, 13-2-9-0 for Jake Swanson down in 4th. Not a lot of time separated between 1st and 4th there in that first group. Still letting our second group roll their way on here. And once they are all on, we'll be firing away green for the second group, see if anyone can chase down Robert Ballou up there at the top. While we had this quick break, waiting on Group 2 to roll on, we'd like to show a quick thanks to some of the folks that make racing possible here at Kokomo. Folks like APX Awards, they are the provider of our driver awards here at Kokomo Speedway. They offer awards and trophies in all shapes and sizes. You can check out more info on them at apx-awards.com. As well as RE Griesmer Fire Protection. Griesmer Fire Protection has been installing fire sprinkler systems throughout the state of Indiana since 1976. Their expertise varies and includes providing customized fire protection for commercial, retail, industrial, and distribution facilities. And you can find out more info at regriesmer.com. Drivers are getting the call out there to spread out and give each other plenty of room as they are just about to drop the green flag here on group number 2, chasing down Robert Ballou for fast time here for our Kokomo Sprints. Chance to take home the very first fast time of the year. If you guys can get it done out there. Robert Ballou, 13-1-2-1 is who they are chasing here in Group 2. We got Group 2 and Group 3. Still got one more group coming up after this. CJ Leary in the 5A will be in that third and final group. And then Nos Energy Drink Midgets National Championships, they will be coming out for single car qualifying after our Kokomo Sprints. Kokomo Sprints firing it up out there. They are getting the cue. Green flag's going to fly. Group 2 to the green here in Kokomo Sprints qualifying. Checker flag going to fly here on Group 2 as Group 2 comes across to take the checker.
Group number 2 complete. Quickest in Group 2, Rylan Gray in the 06 at 13.044. Second quick was the 9Z of Zach Pretorius at 13.056. Shelby Hinton third quick in the 2B at 13.291. David Ayer was fourth quick in the 44, 14.007. And Camden Winter was fifth quick in the 84 at 14.068.
13.044 for the man Rylan Gray up at the top. Runs, he will take the top spot. Zach Pretorius as well, just 12,000ths of a second separating those two. Rylan Gray and Zach Pretorius both going quick there in that second group. We're going to wait for our third group now to roll their way on.
And, Jake, I do want to mention, coming into tonight, we saw Jack Hoyer on the racetrack in car 57 in group number 1. And tonight marks a historic landmark for Sprint Car Hall of Fame inductee Paul Hazen. He kicks off his 70th year in racing, and starting back in 1957 for Paul Hazen. His famous number 57 has won 22 track championships, over 250 feature wins with 71 different drivers. And again, tonight, Jack Hoyer is the chariot of car number 57. So what a career already continuing to build for Paul Hazen.
And Jack Hoyer, always great to see the red 57. It's a very noticeable red-white 57 that sticks out there. You always see that one sticking out there in the field. Third and final group here for the Kokomo Sprints going to roll their way on. Nos Energy Drink Midgets National Championship single car qualifying coming up after this. And then we'll be jumping into racing shortly after that. We're going to see heats for the Kokomo Sprints, heats for the Nos Energy Drink Midgets National Championship. And I believe there's going to be no B mains at all here tonight. No B mains, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going straight into A main feature action once we get done with our heat racing. So again, thanks everyone for being here. Here tonight's opening night here at Kokomo Speedway. Let's take a look at our third group. Third group here for the Kokomo Sprints. Our third group here is going to feature Mike Miller in the 33M, CJ Leary in the 5A. CJ Leary, certainly a big driver to keep your eyes on. I believe he did take home King of the Hill last year during the Sprint Car Smackdown. He was the winner of that bracket, Sprint Car Smackdown last year. He's out there in the 5A, not the same car he was driving for the Sprint Car Smackdown, but CJ Leary in the 5A, Aaron Davis in the 11, David Gasper in the 77S, Gavin Miller in the 21AZ, Landon Butler in the 18, Cameron Rose in the 13P, and again, the man Dalton Bishop. What can you tell us about Group 3 here, man?
Yeah, absolutely. CJ Leary had a Greenfield, Indiana, racing for Austin Hawkins in the 5A machine. Always a fast and always tough customer here at Indiana's Baddest Bull Ring. Has done some racing with Braden Fox as well in the 53 on the USAC Ansel National Sprint Car Tour. So good to have CJ Leary with us here tonight. He'll be one to watch here in group number 3. Keep an eye on the 21AZ, Gavin Miller from Allentown, Pennsylvania. That sprint car went to victory lane a little over a week ago at Circle City Raceway, but not with Gavin Miller behind the wheel. It was Jacob Denny in the 21AZ that went to victory lane at the Circle City Raceway. Both Jacob Denny and Gavin Miller are going to split time with the Team Arizona 21AZ this season. So keep an eye on Gavin Miller tonight and here in Group 3. And another driver to keep an eye on is the Phoenix, Arizona native and Cameron LaRose. He's been fast with the Avanti windows and doors 13 piece. So keep an eye on him as well.
And, of course, don't forget, as we've said, the Nos Energy Drink Midgets National Championship are in town. A couple of these drivers are out here doing double duty. I think it might be Rylan Gray, Shelby Hinton, Kevin Thomas Jr., maybe even more than that. But I know there are a few that are running both the sprints and the midgets here tonight as we drop the green on group number 3 for the Kokomo Sprints. They are chasing down Ryland Gray, 13.044. 13.044, time to beat for the fast time. White flag in the air. Here for group number 3, going to make the swap over to the checkered, and as they do, it looks like that time is going to be popped by a couple drivers. They're still coming around to finish their lap. We'll wait for them to take the checkered before we see who actually took the top time, but we know we already got a couple, as it looks like CJ Leary's going to run even faster there on that third, but Gavin Miller on the third lap here is going to throw into a 12.844. 12.844 for Gavin Miller, and I believe that is going to be it. So we have to wait until our third group, but we get 3 drivers there that throw it into the 12s, and you were talking about how they're going to be playing musical drivers and swapping in that 21AZ. Gavin Miller in that 21AZ takes fast time.
Yeah, really excited to see what he's able to accomplish this year. His first year behind the wheel of a non-wing sprint car in that 21AZ. He'll be fun to watch tonight. Of course, CJ Leary was second quick. Failed to mention, but David Gasper back with Tyler Sturgeon racing. That's a good combination to watch here tonight. So looking forward to watching the Kokomo sprint cars, but really looking forward to tonight's NOS Energy Drink USAC National Midget Series.
Going to be a great night all around. Always great when we have USAC in town, and that is going to do it for Kokomo Sprints qualifying. So it's Gavin Miller that takes top time, ladies and gentlemen, with CJ Leary and David Gasper that round out the top 3. So congratulations to Gavin Miller down there in the 21AZ, and that is going to do it for the Kokomo Sprints. That'll do it for myself and the man Dalton for now. We will talk to you folks again in just a bit for some Kokomo Sprints heat racing action. For now, I'll be passing things back over to the voice of USAC for some NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship, Brian Holbert.
Thank you very much. The USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship coming out for their first of 3 sets of dirt draft hot laps. Again, 25 drivers on hand to kick off the 2026 season. Gavin Miller, who we just saw on track, was set to be in this opening group. He will move to group number 2. In the meantime, drivers out onto the speedway include Todd Cleaver. He's out of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Driver of the Badger Music and Equipment, Esslinger BB7 Link Chassis, number 55K. Seen him over the years at USAC events. He's always been in a Badger Midget ride, tonight making his USAC National Midget debut. Driver rolling just up in front of him, that's Cale Drake at Collinsville, Oklahoma. The Response Management Services and ViroFab Guest Performance Rush Race Gear Speedway Toyota Spike Chassis, number 4. Already a 2-time winner on the 2000. Picking up a pair of wins last year, Sweet Springs and Circle City during Indiana Midget Week. Next driver to tell you about, making his way over into turns 1 and 2, that is Kyle Jones, driver number 2 with Tim Engler this season. The England Machine and Tool EA Stealth Spike Chassis High Performance Lubricant Schoenfeld. Sure Built Suspension number 7 TX, making his way down the back straightaway. Talked about this driver earlier. Rolling down the back straightaway, that is Kevin Thomas Jr. out of Coleman, Alabama. The Purple Heart Foundation Stanton Link Chassis number 14. The Four Kings Racing entry. Looking at the driver exiting turn number 4 right now. Again, $14 off of every one of the T-shirts sold for Kevin Thomas Jr. with Purple Heart Foundation on there. Going back to that foundation. Driver rolling in directly behind him. She is out of Huntersville, North Carolina, driving the Link Chassis Toyota Precision Performance Concrete. 94, racer number 94, that is Hayden Wise. Hayden Wise in the number 94. Where's her uncle Josh Wise, a multi-time USAC national champion. Hayden also a former national champion in the USAC ranks in quarter midget competition. Working at the exit turn number 2 right now out of Greenfield, Indiana, the Ace Corporation, Gray Auto Kaiser, Stanton Link Chassis number 81G. That is Ryland Gray. Ryland Gray working down the back straightaway. Cars continuing to pace around the Kokomo Speedway. Real quick, let's check in with Drake.
Brian, you mentioned Cale Drake in that RMS Racing ride, new pairing here for 2026, and they've been having a lot of fun going up and down the road here with Power Ride to start off the season, now coming over to join us with the USAC National Midgets. The team, they've got a cool little thing going right now. Most of the crew members, except Lacey Doyle, she's too cool for it, but they all have maroon matching Vans shoes to kind of match the car that they have right there. So I don't know if that's an indication of a team of how much fun they're having to start off this new partnership. It's something cool for sure for the crew members to have matching shoes. Cale actually went and purchased the shoes by himself, surprised the team with them too. So really cool thing. Great to see that team gelling so early on in this partnership.
Indeed, thank you very much. Another couple of drivers to tell you about out on the Speedway, rolling right down here on the front straightaway, coming up to the flag stand. That is Hayden Reinbold of Gilbert, Arizona, the AME Electrical Jugo Superfood stands bike number 19 AZ, and followed by the 98K of Brandon Carr at Sheffield, United Kingdom, from the J. Davidson Scrap Metal, Mobile 1 Toyota Curb Records, KKM, Kerbeck and Jamie, number 98K, as we go to green in Dirt Trap Hot Lap session number 1. Checker flag flies on Dirt Trap Hot Lap session number 1. Kevin Thomas Jr. sitting atop of the charts right now with a 13.154, 13154 seconds for Kevin Thomas Jr. Cale Drake at 13.555. Hayden Reinbold 13.586. Rylan Gray 13.609, a 13.697 for Kyle Jones. Hayden Wise 13.856 and Brandon Carr 13.932. Hot Lap session number 1 going to make its way into the pits. Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 2 going to be making its way out in just a moment. We'll have Learn Lab qualifying coming up as well. Of course, $150 to the quick qualifier this evening. Next group of cars begin to make their way out onto the Speedway. First driver to tell you about rolls down the front straightaway out of Wheatfield, Indiana. Driver the Horizon Carpentry, Mongo Crane, Mack Electric, 84 Lumber, Martin One Source number 7T. That is Adam Taylor. Adam Taylor in the number 7T. The 97 machine, the driver out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Driver the Sound Gear, Toyota Racing Development, Mobile 1 Curb Records number 97. That is Gavin Miller. Gavin Miller in the number 97. At the exit of turn number 4, the NOS Energy Drink, PristineAuction.com, Mobile 1 Toyota Racing Development, CB Industries, Spike Speedway Toyota number 87. That is Justin Grant. Justin Grant in the number 87. The 18 in the front straightway, the Odell Motorsports, Odell Trucking, Toyota Link Chassis, Patrick Odell, number 18. At a Prix, Ohio, that is Zach Weigel. Zach Weigel in the number 18. Second driver out of the Engler Stables onto the Speedway out of San Jose, California. Driver the Engler Machine and Tool E8 Stealth Spike Chassis number 7X into turn number 1. That is Thomas Meserol, T-Mez, in the number 7X. The 4B on the Speedway out of Beverly, Louisiana. Shelby Hinton, the Dusty Moon Veterinary Services, Klotz Lubricants, Willwood Hoosier, Brown & Miller Racing Solutions, Clanton Beast Enterprises, number 4B. Here on the front straightaway, just past the flag stand at Black Forest, Colorado, driver the Red Line Performance Roofing, REM Motorsports, Stanton SR11X, Link Chassis, Dirt Crowd, Insane Graphics, number 45. That is Bradley Cox. Bradley Cox in the number 45. And looking down, Cleaver on track right now. That should be the other 55 of Trevor Klein. We're going to go ahead and exit stage right. We'll see if we can get Klein out here. In the meantime, Lil Bundy on track, the number 19M, the driver to Mooresville, North Carolina. The Joy of Seating, Walker Filtration, and Rye Helmets, number 19M of Ethan Mitchell. Ethan Mitchell rolling into turn number 1. And there he is, Trevor Klein at Mooresville, North Carolina. The Bellwood Auto Body, DC Machines, Mid-Titanium, Simpson, Troy Klein, GRC Fabrication, number 55, as we'll get him wound up and set him loose here in Dirt Track Hot Lap session number 2. And problems for him in the 4B. He is rolling slowly on the back straightaway in that Beast Platinum number 4B. That's going to draw the caution lights on. Issues for Shelby a year ago as well, so the Gremlin striking on the number 4B. They'll get the Indy Power Sports side-by-side behind him, get him cleared, and we'll continue on here in Dirt Drift Hot Lap session number 2. Again, Meserol, Cox, Weigel, Taylor, Klein, Mitchell, and Grant all on track. Kevin Thomas Jr. remains quickest right now by a little over 0.2 of a second. Quickest driver on track in this set was Thomas Meserol, second quick overall at 13.414. Justin Grant, third quick. Trevor Klein, Gavin Miller, Cale Drake, Zach Weigel, Hayden Reinbold, Rylan Gray, and Kyle Jones right now make up the top 10. Difference from first to 10th, 0.543 seconds right now. Dirt Drive Hot Lap session number 3, getting ready to make its way out to the speedway. Drivers getting instruction over the receiver to roll middle to high side of the racetrack. First driver out to the speedway for this group of Dirt Drive Hot Lap competitors. Out of Canyon, Texas, driven the Sierra Towing and Crushing. Dumas Iron and Metal, Speedway Total Link Chassis, Silver Dollar Speedway of Lubbock, Texas. D&D Racing, moving dirt number 20Q. That is Brecken Reese. Brecken Reese in the 20Q. Jacob Boxell out of Zanesville, Indiana, the Middle Ed 1 Performance Products, Bordner Welling, Acro Lube Grease, Lucky 7 Technologies, number 54, making his way down the front straightaway. The Desnudo Organic Tequila, Indy Power Sports, Stanton Spike Chassis, Prime 47, Drop Light, Indy Custom Stone number 57 of Logan Seavey out of Sutter, California, making his way into turns 1 and 2. The 43 Machine Gunner Setzer out of Columbus, Indiana, the Midwest 2 Mills, the Cure starts now, Setzer Fabricating, Lynch Machining, Lee Company, Stanton Link Chassis number 43 over in turns 1 and 2. Jacob Denny out of Galloway, Ohio, the JBL Audio TRD Mobile 1 Toyota Curb Records, Link Chassis number 67, making his way into turns 1 and 2 right now. And here on the front straightway at Titusville, Florida, the Precise Tooling Solutions, TRD Mobile 1 Curb Records, Walker Filtration, Speedway Total Link Chassis, KKM Curb Agajania number 67K of Colton Robinson. Robinson in the 67K. The 99 here in the front straightway, that is Robert Carson all the way from Concord, California, driven the Yellow Key Enterprises, Indy Rear End Services, Engler Racing Engines, Spike Chassis number 99. Todd Cleaver out to the speedway now, the Badger Music and Equipment, Club Lamarck, Norris Tavern, Big Daddy Games, S. BB7 Link Chassis number 55. Cleaver, quite the storied career in racing, whether it is dirt, asphalt, snow, and flat track. He's kind of done a little bit of everything, so we'll see what the 2005 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Rookie of the Year contender can do here tonight as we set loose in Dirt Track Hot Lap session number 3. So the driver who is quickest in Dirt Track Hot Laps, it's Kevin Thomas Jr., 13.154. Jacob Denny ends up second quick at a 13.243. Logan Seavey, 13.352. Thomas Meserol, 13.414. And Justin Graham, fifth quick at a 13.415. Trevor Klein, Mac Leopard, Brecken Reese, Gunnar Setzer, and Gavin Miller make up the top 10. Learn Labs, maker of award-winning hands-on industrial job skills training systems using curriculum, classroom tools, and rugged hands-on training panels. Learn Lab teaches the necessary skills and with real tools and components to help schools, colleges, and companies train their people to be better at what they do. Go to learnlab.com for more information. Learn Lab presenting our qualifying run here this evening. Again, $150 to be your Learn Lab quick qualifier. One car at a time out to the Kokomo Speedway. Second time around will seal the deal. Their quickest of 2 laps will be their qualifying effort. Dylan Welch is the track record holder, 12.665 seconds, 94.655 average miles per hour. The push lane cleared, the green light's on, and we are set to go with our first driver making their way out to the Kokomo Speedway. Again, night number 1 of 2 here at the Kokomo Grand Prix. Look forward to tomorrow. A couple of drivers set to make their way up on the sprint car side. We'll see if a few more make their way up on the midget side for tomorrow's racing action. As Learn Lab qualifying gets underway with our first driver out to the Speedway. He's out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, driving the Sound Gear Toyota Racing Development Mobile 1 Curb Records KKM Curb Academy and Speedway Toyota Link chassis number 97. This is Gavin Miller. Gavin Miller first out to the Speedway to set the mark. Last year, a 6th place finish on night number 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix. Comes around his opening lap, and he will stop the clock at a 13.615, 13615 seconds for the driver of the number 97. Taking her mid-groove into 3, low out of 4 onto the front straightaway. Does he improve on lap number 2? He does. 13.581, 13.581. Gavin Miller sets the mark here in Learn Lab qualifying. Next driver out to the Speedway. She makes her USAC National Midget debut out of Huntersville, North Carolina. Driver the Precision Performance Concrete Toyota Link chassis, 94 racer number 94. This is Hayden Wise. Hayden Wise in the number 94. Combination of wing, sprint car, and midget action throughout the 2026 season so far. 13.616 seconds on lap number 1 for the young lady out of North Carolina. Again, her uncle, a multi-time USAC national champion. She is also a USAC national champion in the quarter midget ranks. Back in the early goings of her career, comes around quick time, lap number 2, 13.361, 13361. Hayden Wise right now quickest in Learn Lab qualifying. Next driver out to the Speedway, it's Rylan Gray out of Greenfield, Indiana. Driver the Ace Corporation, Gray Auto Kaiser Wheels, Stanton SR11X Link chassis, Gray Brothers Racing number 81. In search of his first Grand Prix A-feature start here at Kokomo. He'll come around on his opening lap at the 13.621. 13.621 seconds for the driver of the number 81G. Smooth line through 3. He'll hammer the throttle. Exit turn number 4. The Ace Corp number 81G goes to second quick. 13.449. 13.449 second time around for Rylan Gray. Out to the Speedway now at Collinsville, Oklahoma. Driver the RMS, EnviroFab, Guest Performance Rush Race Gear. Speedway Toyota Spike Chassis number 4. This is Cale Drake. Cale Drake in the number 4 at speed onto the back straightaway. 2 wins last year, Sweet Springs and then Circle City in Indiana Midget Week competition. 4th from 11th on night number 1 year ago here at the Grand Prix. Comes around third quick on his opening lap at a 13.510, 13.510 for the Collinsville, Oklahoma driver. Buries the right rear deep exit. Turn number 4 does the EnviroFab. Number 4 improves second time around. He does on time, not position. 13.475, 13.475. Third quick right now for Cale Drake here in Learn Lap qualifying. Driver who was fastest in dirt draft hot laps. We'll see if it translates to qualifying at Coleman, Alabama. The Purple Heart Foundation, Metaloid 1 Acro Seal, NW Manufacturing. Stanton SR11, link chassis number 14. This is Kevin Thomas Jr., KTJ in the 14. Comes around, quick time at a 13.119, 13.119 seconds. Lap number 1 to the top of the boards and Learn Lap qualifying for Kevin Thomas Jr. Already a 3-time winner in sprint car competition. 2 of those in USAC CRA competition. Comes around, lap number 2, even better, 13.074. Kevin Thomas Jr., now your quickest driver in Learn Lap qualifying. Next driver onto the speedway, we find Brandon Carr. He's out of Sheffield, United Kingdom, driving the J. Davidson Scrap Metal, Mobile 1 Toyota Curb Record, Speedway Total Link Chassis, KKM Kerbegajanian, number 98K. Another driver in search of a Grand Prix A feature start here at Kokomo. Comes around in his opening lap, 6 quick at a 13.890, 13.890 seconds for the driver from just beyond the pond. Makes his way through turns 3 and 4. We'll see if he improves second time around. Brings her out wide, buries the right rear down, and he'll find a little bit more time. Not any more position. 6 quick at a 13.777, 13.777 for the driver of the number 98K. Onto the speedway now, the 19AZ. He's out of Gilbert, Arizona. The AMA Electrical, Jugo Superfood, Stanton Spike, Reinbold Development Incorporated, Reinbold Underwood Motorsports of 19AZ. This is Hayden Reinbold. Hayden Reinbold, the 19AZ. 4-time starter in the Kokomo Grand Prix. Last year, night number 1, 21st place finish for the driver of the 19AZ. Goes 6 quick in his opening lap at a 13.713, 13.713 seconds. Winner last year in the night before the Crowns at Eldora. Comes around, second time by, a little bit better on time, still 6 quick at a 13.637. Next driver onto the speedway comes to you out of Kennedale, Texas, driving the England Machine and Tool, EA Stealth Spike, high performance lubricant, Sure-Belt suspension, Schoenfeld, number 7TX. This is Kyle Jones. Kyle Jones in the 7TX. 1 win last year outside of USAC competition. In fact, it was with the Extreme Outlaw Midgets at Linda Speedway. 12th from 17th on night number 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix last year. His opening lap is a 13.790, 13.790. 8th quick for Kyle Jones. He'll come around second time by, and he picks up a spot to 7th quick at a 13.652, 13.652 seconds for Kyle Jones. His teammate next on to the speedway out of San Jose, California, the England Machine and Tool High Performance Lubricant Sure-Built EA Stealth Spike Chassis number 7X. It's Timez Thomas Meserol. Meserol coming around in his opening lap, 4th quick at a 13.473. Timez TV tagging along this past weekend with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship. A lot of great content posted out by Timez. Back behind the wheel here tonight in a midget. 4th quick on lap number 1. That's where he's going to stay on lap number 2. A little bit slower that time. 13.484 for the driver of the number 7X. Driver coming out for the first time to run the full season here with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship at Black Forest, Colorado. The Red Line Performance Roofing, REM Motorsports, Stanton Link Chassis, Race Engine Components, Insane Graphics, Dirt Crowd, a Cappy Mason number 45. This is Bradley Cox. Bradley Cox in the number 45. 10th quick in his opening lap at a 14.013. 14.013 seconds for the driver that cut his teeth with the Rocky Mountain Midget Racing Association. Brings it down to the exit of turn number 4. Checkered flag flies in lap number 2. A little better on time. Still 10th quick, though, at a 13.892. Problems during dirt draft hot laps. We'll see if he gets all 4 cylinders firing here at a Chevrolet Louisiana, the Dusty Moon Veterinary Services, Chevrolet Beast Chassis, Quad Lubricants, Willwood, Hoosier, Brown and Middle Racing Solutions, Platte Beast Enterprises number 4B. This is Shelby Hinton. Shelby Hinton in the number 4B. Not able to make the call in feature competition 1 year ago. Does have 1 career start here at Kokomo during the 2025 edition of Indiana Midget Week. A 21st place run for the driver of the number 4B. His opening lap was 10th quick at a 13.798. We'll see if he improves lap number 2. And he does, goes to 6 quick at a 13.551. 1.3551 seconds. Shelby Hinton picking up 4 spots. Next onto the racetrack at Prix, Ohio, driving the Odell Motorsports, Odell Trucking, Toyota Link Chassis, Patrick Odell, number 18. This is Zach Weigel. Zach Weigel at Prix, Ohio, onto the Speedway. 4th quick on lap number 1, a 13.472. 1 win last year with the Badger Midgets up at Angel Park. Still looking for that USAC national score here as he makes his way through turns at 3 and 4. We'll see if he picks up any time second time around. He does. Second quick at a 13.331. 1.333 run. Second quick for Zach Weigel. Out of Wheatfield, Indiana, driving the Spike Chassis, EA Stealth, Horizon Carpentry, Mongo Crane, Mac Electric, 84 Lumber, Martin One Source, Bankage Motorsports, Excel Automotive, Cyclone Graphics, King Racing Products number 7T. This is Adam Taylor. Adam Taylor in the 7T at speed. He'll come around on his opening lap. 13 quick at a 14.245, 1.4245 seconds for the driver of the number 7T. 1 win last year in Badger Midget competition. He brings his way through turn 3. He'll diamond it down to the bottom of the exit to number 4. And the Horizon Carpentry number 7C picks up a little bit of time, not position though. 13th quick at a 14.143, second time by. Trevor Klein on the gas now at Mooresville, North Carolina, driving the Bellwood Auto Body, Stanton Spike Chassis, DC Machine, Smith Titanium, Simpson Racing Products, Troy Klein GRC Fabrication number 55. Winner last year with Extreme Outlaw Midgets at Jacksonville. We'll see if he can break into victory lane this season in USAC National Midget Competition. Goes second quick on his opening lap at a 13.327. 1.3327 seconds for Trevor Klein. Lap number 1. Dimes are down to the middle groove. Exit turn number 4. Does he unseat KTJ? He does not. Picks up time. Doesn't pick up the position, though. 13.311. Kevin Thomas holds on to it. 0.2 of a second to the good. Driver out to the Speedway now to Mooresville, North Carolina. Driving the Joyous Seating, Bunnybuilt Honda, Spike Chassis, Walker Filtration, Arai Helmets, Bunnybuilt Motorsports number 19M. This is Ethan Mitchell. Ethan Mitchell in the number 19. Comes around line number 1, 11 quick at a 13.652, 1.3652 seconds for the driver of the number 19, a 4-time starter here in the Kokomo Grand Prix. His last day feature start back in 2021, an 8th place finish on the opening night of competition. Comes around lap number 2, he improves to 5th quick at a 13.436, 1.3436 seconds for Ethan Mitchell. Onto the Speedway now. He is a 3-time sprint car champion here at Kokomo, driving the NOS Energy Drink, PristineAuction.com, Mobile One Toyota Racing Development, CB Industries, Speedway Spike number 87. It's Justin Grant. Justin Grant coming around to lap at number 1. We'll see where he stops the clock. And it'll be second quick at a 13.272, 0.198 seconds off of the pace of Kevin Thomas Jr. See if he can find that speed here on lap number 2. 5th on night number 1 last year during the Kokomo Grand Prix. Comes around lap number 2, better on time, not position. 13.230. Second quick for Justin Grant, the 87. Out of Canyon, Texas, driving the Sierra Towing and Crushing, Dumas Iron and Metal, Speedway Toyota Link Chassis, Silver Dollar Speedway of Lubbock, Texas, D&D Racing, Moving Dirt, Sonny's Grocery, Chandler Grand Prix, number 20Q. This is Brecken Reese. Brecken Reese in the number 20Q. Goes 11th quick on his opening lap at the 13.556, 1.3556 seconds for Brecken Reese. Last year, 18th on the opening night of the Kokomo Grand Prix. Going to bring it around here. Lap number 2, 11th quick on lap number 1, 6th quick on lap number 2, 13.425, 1.3425 seconds for Brecken Reese. Jacob Denny, the next driver onto the Speedway out of Galloway, Ohio, driving the JBL Audio, TRD, Mobile One Toyota, Curb Records, KKM, Curb Agajani, and Link Chassis number 67. Winner on night number 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix last year comes around. His opening lap is third quick at a 13.289, 1.3289 seconds. Also went to victory lane during Indiana Midget Week here at Kokomo. Comes around lap number 2 in the JBL number 67. Does he improve? He does. Second quick at a 13.176, 1.3176 up to second quick for Jacob Denny. Colton Robinson, next driver onto the Speedway out of Titusville, Florida. Driver the Precise Tooling Solutions, Speedway Total Link Chassis, TRD, Mobile One, Curb Records, Walker Filtration, Curb Agajani, number 67K. Robinson coming around, second quick on his opening lap, 13.176, 1.3176 seconds. Winner in Outlaw Non-Wing competition down in Marion County back in February during one of the KKM Give Back Classic events. Comes around, second time by, slower, 13.205, second quick for Colton Robinson. Regular with the Badger Midgets, making his USAC Midget debut here tonight out of Sunbury, Wisconsin. Driver the Badger Music and Equipment Club Lamarck, Norris Tavern, Big Daddy's Games, Esslinger BB7, Link Chassis, TK2 Motorsports number 55K. This is Todd Cleaver. Todd Cleaver in the number 55. He'll come around in his opening lap, 19 quick at a 14.033. Career started back in flat track in 1992, a short track amateur national champion in the 250cc ranks in 1996. He'll come around second time by. He'll pick up a little bit of time, 19th quick at a 13.908. Driver coming to us out of Southern California, driver the Indy Power Sports. Desnuda Organic Tequila, Prime 47, Drop Light, Indy Custom Zone, CTCPA's Atticus Race number 57. This is Logan Seavey. Logan Seavey in the number 57. Lap number 1 will be 7 quick at a 13.358, 13358 seconds. A 7-time starter in the Kokomo Grand Prix. Last year, 11th on night number 1. One USAC sprint car victory here, has yet to go to victory lane in USAC National Midget Competition. Does improve on lap number 2 at 13.331 for Logan Seavey, 6 quick. All the way from Concord, California, driver the Yellow Key Enterprises Esslinger Racing Engine, Spike, Indy Rear End Services, West Evans Motorsports, Backwoods MC, Robert Carson, number 99. This is Robert Carson. Carson in the number 99. He will come around. His opening lap will be 22nd quick at a 15.063, 15063 seconds for the driver of the 99. So you can find a little bit more speed here in lap number 2 around the bottom side of the third and fourth turns, and second time by a little bit quicker, still 22nd quick at a 14.998. Next driver onto the speedway out of Beaver Creek, Ohio, driving the great company Molt Express of Wisconsin, Speedway Toyota Spike Chassis, Joe's Landscaping, Rex Road Racing number 14L. This is Mac Lepper. Mac Lepper in the number 14L. 2 wins last year in Mara competition. We'll see if he can pick up a win in USAC National Midget competition here in 2026. Leopard coming around. Lap number 1 was a 13.557. Lap number 2 was a 13.464 for the driver out of Beaver Creek, Ohio. That is Zanesville, Indiana, the Metal Aid 1 Performance Products, Border Welding, Stanton DRC Chassis, Acro Lube Grease, Lucky 7 Technologies, 4 Kings Racing number 54. This is Jacob Boxell. Jacob Boxell in the number 54. Coming around the way with the white flag, 11th quick on his opening lap of the 13.440, 13440 seconds. A full-time driver this season for 4 Kings Racing. Going to bury his right rear off into the cushion at turns 3 and 4. We'll see if he can prove lap number 2. He does. 5th quick at 13.233, 13233 seconds for the driver, the number 54. Scheduled to be the final driver to qualify out of Columbus, Indiana. Driver of the Midwest Tube Mills. The cure starts now. Stanton SR11X, Link Chassis, Setzer Fabricating, Lynch Machining, Lead Company, Kevin Arnold, number 43. This is Gunnar Setzer. Gunnar Setzer in the number 43. 13th place finish on night number 1 of the Grand Prix 1 year ago. 10th quick on his opening lap of the 13.415, 13415 seconds for the driver of the number 43. Makes his way through the third turn, down across, exit turn number 4. Does he improve? Second time by, 10th quick is where he's going to stay. Second time around a little bit slower, 13.481 for the driver of the number 43. As that will wrap up Learn Lab qualifying. 5th quick tonight was Jacob Boxell. 4th quick was Justin Grant. 3rd was Jacob Denny. 2nd quick was Colton Robinson. And your Learn Lab quick qualifier comes to you out of Coleman, Alabama. The Purple Heart Foundation, Metaloid 1, AcroSeal, MW manufacturer number 14. Race fans, give him a hand, Kevin Thomas Jr. He will make his way down to the front of the grandstands, and Christy Leary standing by to get a word with tonight's quick qualifier.
Your Learn Lab Fast qualifier for night number 1 of the USAC NOS Energy Drink National Midget season this year in 2026. The first time that you're coming into a midget season with a full season of midgets behind you in quite a while. This fast time, is that sort of a tribute to everything you put together last year?
Yeah, I think so. You know, it's just, getting a good feel for the cars, and whenever we started here last year, it's kind of my first laps in them. And, we ran well, and they build great stuff over there, so it's easy to acclimate to it. And tonight, they've done a lot of work over the winter, and Chili Bowl went well for us, and it's just kind of bled into this season. So it's a lot of fun to drive, and You know, they built good new cars over there, and this is a new car that, or new configuration that I haven't ran yet, and it's doing pretty well.
Loving the purple. It looks really beautiful on the racetrack, really beautiful on the FloRacing broadcast. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that sponsor?
Yeah, you know, obviously there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes whenever it comes to that company and that foundation. You know, obviously the veterans and the war heroes. You know, we like to pay tribute to them, and being able to represent them on a national level is awesome. And you know, Rex and Fred and all the guys that put all the stuff together in order for us to be able to, you know, have them on the side of our car is much appreciated, and I'm looking forward to them being on the car all year.
Your first Learn Lab Fast qualifier of the 2026 season with the USAC Nos Energy Drink National Midget Series, Kevin Thomas Jr.
th time in his career, he is your Learn Lab qualifying quick qualifier. Incidentally, the 5th time on the opening night of the season. So definitely starting things off on a quick pace. So with that, we're going to take just a couple of minutes here before we get into opening ceremonies here on the FloRacing broadcast. We'll be back.
I'm Kevin Thomas Jr., and you're watching USAC on FloRacing.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence. Order online at amsoil.com.
Up for a challenge? How about this? Anything you can do, I can do faster. Okay, bro. I'm gnarlier than you. I get more sideways. I'm louder. Much louder. I get wilder than you. You sure about that, bro?
Harder. Slicker. Cooler. Tougher. Let's go.
So what you got?
P1 Australia Racing Components, sprint cars, midgets, and micros, specializing in engine heaters, oil heat mats, stainless headers, and black titanium. World headquarters in Indianapolis and also serving New Zealand and Australia. P1 ships daily. Visit our website at p1australia.com. P1 Australia Racing Components. For pricing, info, and more, slide into our Facebook and Instagram.
Crashing, it hurts, right? The car owner usually pays to get the car fixed, but who pays for you to get fixed? Are you a race car driver that does not have coverage insurance? Steeda is your answer. Don't race another lap without being covered. Get info now at steeda.com or call 1-800-378-4608.
Power up your ride with True Brand Fuel Joules, the only time-release fuel treatment on the market. Fuel Joules cleans and lubricates while restoring power and performance, and its patented time-release formula increases fuel economy by up to 7%, saving you money at the pump, tank full after tank full. Plus, Fuel Joules races for a cause. We partner with the National Breast Cancer Foundation to fund life-saving early detection screenings for women in need. Visit TrueBrandProducts.com to get your bottle today.
Hi there, it's Genevieve Malone, and we're here at our first midget race and our first cookout for the midget races of the year. And our driver for today is Justin Grant, and here I have
Chuck Snow.
And Chuck Snow's going to be guessing his favorite flavor from cookout for our shake of the day.
Banana berry.
Banana berry. Let's see if that is Justin's favorite.
My favorite cookout shake flavor has got to be peanut butter banana.
Now, it does have banana in it, but it's not banana berry. It is peanut butter banana, but it was a nice try. And if you would like to try something from Cookout, you can go to cookout.com to find their nearest locations.
Welcome back to the broadcast here on FloRacing. A little bit of track prep finishing up here as they work the high side of the speedway in, dropping down and doing a little quick pass through the middle here. Also gives our officials a chance to go up and assess, make sure everything is good to go on the racing surface before we go into tonight's program. If you're just joining us here on the FloRacing broadcast, again, Kevin Thomas Jr., tonight's Learn Lap Quick Qualifier, 13.074 seconds was his best attempt. On the 410 side, Gavin Miller in the Team Arizona number 21 AZ was quickest at a 12.844 second lap. 21 Kokomo 410 sprint cars on hand. 25 the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship in competition here this evening. Don't forget, racing action continuing tomorrow here at Kokomo, and Kokomo on a Sunday just feels right, so we hope you can join us for night number 2 of the Kokomo Grand Prix. USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship returning to competition next weekend. We head down the road to Bloomington Speedway on Friday for the Larry Rice Classic. Then the Spring Showdown at the Class Track Tri-State Speedway down in Hopstad on Saturday the 2nd. Silver Crown action kicks off at the Kansas State Fairgrounds. That will be on May 9th. We'll have practice the night before. Let's Race 2 at Eldora Speedway, where we join forces with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. That'll be on May 15th and 16th. Again, you'll be able to see the USAC portion in its entirety on FloRacing. If you're wanting to watch the Outlaws as well, that will be on Dirt Vision. If you need more information and want to purchase your tickets to avoid all the broadcast hopping and just see it in person, go to EldorSpeedway.com to get those tickets today. May 20th, Terre Haute, Circle City on the 21st, Indianapolis Raceway Park, the Hoosier 100, that'll be on the 22nd, and then the Avante Buenos Aires Corn Belt Clash, night number 1 on May 29th, night number 2 on May 30th. KnoxvilleRaceway.com, of course, the Outlaws at Knoxville this weekend. And that's where you want to go to purchase your tickets for the Avante Buenos Aires Corn Belt Clash. It's like the Terragator just about done here. Going to make the low pass through turns 3 and 4, and we'll see if he makes his way down to the infield or if he heads back into the pit area here in just a little bit. Again, USACRacing.com is the website you want to go to for all the news, notes, and information on everything happening throughout the 2026 season, whether it's the national tours or the regional tours. You can find it all at USACRacing.com. And with that, Terragator has come to a stop, and we'll ask that you all please rise for tonight's invocation and national anthem. If you would, please remove cover. Out of respect to those who serve this nation and in honor of those who have given their lives in her defense. If you would, please bow your head with us this evening. Our Father in heaven, tonight, before we would go to you and ask of you, as always, we would go to you to give thanks for you. We thank you, Lord, for your glory, your grace, your teachings, and above all, your forgiveness, for we fall short of your ways and your path, but you never fail to bring us to your side if we would simply turn to you. And now, Lord, tonight we would ask of you. We would ask protection on those who have gathered on these grounds, whether they strap into the cars, whether they grace the stands, they officiate, they turn wrenches. No matter what, we would ask that you cast your gaze upon them in your hand of protection. And we ask also that the competitive fight out, that it would never squelch, that it would never go away. But within that, sportsmanship, fairness, and friendship would always be what prevails in a moment that could be otherwise tarnished by anger and regret. We ask all these things and give thanks in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Night one for us here at Kokomo Speedway, and we're looking forward to a great night here tonight. We are looking forward to a great night here tonight. Kokomo Sprint's going to be opening things up with heat racing, and they are going to be rolling their way on here in just a moment. We'll be looking at three heat races here for the Kokomo Sprints. Gavin Miller had our fast time for the Kokomo Sprints. We had three drivers able to throw a time into the 12s, and Gavin Miller in the 21 AZ was fast time for Kokomo Sprints. Earlier tonight, we'll see him in the third heat, and that was the heat that had our three drivers that had times in the 12s. So it'll be 3 heats, 8 laps apiece, 7 cars in each heat here for our Kokomo Sprints. We'll see 3 heats here for these guys. Then the NOS Energy Drink Midgets National Championship will make their way back out. Just heats and A mains here tonight. No B mains, no semi-features on the card. It'll just be heat racing straight into features after our heats. Heat race number 1 rolling their way on, taking a look at the field here for our first heat race of the evening. For the Kokomo Sprints, it's going to be Jake Swanson on the front row. He'll start on the inside of Kevin Thomas Jr. Those are 2 drivers straight out the gate up there on the front row that are going to be fast and that are going to be looking for wins, as last year was 5 wins for Jake Swanson. Kevin Thomas Jr. grabbed 1 heat win last year, but he did grab 2 feature wins. Did Kevin Thomas Jr. So Kevin Thomas Jr. on the outside, Jake Swanson on the inside. That's row 1 with Trey Osborne on the inside of Robert Ballou. Robert Ballou with 3 heat wins and 2 feature wins last year, with Dalton Stevens, Jack Hoyer, and Derek Hastings to round out our first heat race of the evening. First heat race of the evening, first heat race of the year here at Kokomo Speedway. So Jake Swanson, Kevin Thomas Jr., Trey Osborne, Robert Ballou, Dalton Stevens, Jack Hoyer, and Derek Hastings rounded out. 1 to go this time by. So ladies and gentlemen, here we go. USAC is in town with the NOS Energy Drink Midgets National Championship. They kick off their 2026. We kick off our year as well here at Kokomo Speedway. We're looking forward to a big-time year here at Kokomo Speedway, and we fire it off all here tonight. If you're at the grandstands, thank you so much for being here. If you're watching live on FloRacing, thank you so much for tuning in. It's our local Kokomo Sprints that fire us off with heat racing here tonight. They roll their way through 3 and 4. We're going to look for the green flag, and for the first time in 2026, we are racing at Cookamo Speedway. Wheeling it down the backstretch, we are underway here at Kokomo Speedway. They race by us for the first time. It'll be Kevin Thomas Jr. that jumps out to the early lead up there with Robert Ballou behind him. Trying to slide down to the inside. They're going to try to go for it right here at the start. Are the 2 leaders. Robert Ballou's trying to chase him down up here at the front with Osborne, Swanson, and Hoyer to round out the top 5. These are the 2 that went at it last year, night 1 in the feature. Is this a preview for what we're going to see tonight? They're pretty much picking up right where they left off on night 1 last year. Kevin Thomas Jr. got the better of the Madman on night 1 last year, and this is heat race number 1. They're not wasting any time here going at it with these Kokomo Sprints. KTJ, Robert Ballou, Trey Osborne, Jake Swanson, Jack Hoyer that are the top 5. Here comes Robert Ballou trying to get to the inside right here as they roar it down the front stretch. Into 1 and 2, looking for the slide job is the Madman up in front of Kevin Thomas Jr. He slides it down back inside, wheel to wheel with a drag race down the back stretch, and into 3 and 4 they go. KTJ on the inside, Madman on the outside. Robert Ballou's going to find the pace there on the outside, widens the gap between him and KTJ. Can Kevin Thomas Jr. reel him back in? It's just a heat race here, but Robert Ballou able to get by KTJ for the top spot. Now we're looking at Trey Osborne. Can Trey Osborne look to get by KTJ as the white flag waves? It's one more time around here for the Kokomo Sprints. KTJ holding off Trey Osborne, but this is the Madman. Robert Ballou made the pass on KTJ. First one of the year goes to the Madman. Robert Ballou wins it here at Kokomo heat race number 1. Robert Ballou's going to take the win. KTJ for P2. Trey Osborne, Jake Swanson, Jack Hoyer round of the top 5. Dalton Stevens and Derek Hastings, but there he is on the front stretch, ladies and gentlemen. The Madman, Robert Ballou, gets it done. First one of the year here at Kokomo. Two feature wins last year for Robert Ballou here at Indiana's Baddest Bull Ring. He is looking to add another one here tonight and grab the first one of the year. He's off to a good start here in our first heat race. We're starting everyone in the feature tonight. No transfer spots. Everyone will be racing in the A-main as long as they keep it clean out there and make it through the heat race. Heat race number 2 rolling their way on. As heat race number 2 rolls their way on, we want to say a quick thanks to some of the folks that make racing possible here at Kokomo Speedway. OmniSource, one of North America's largest processors and distributors of scrap and secondary metal. You can find out more info at omnisource.com, and Sign Here Designs. For graphic design needs and services, check out Sign Here at signheredesigns.com. Again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Indiana's Baddest Bull Ring. I am track announcer Jake Dalton here at Kokomo Speedway, and these are our local Kokomo Sprints out here opening things up for the NOS Energy Drink Midgets that will be in action here tonight, kicking off their year as well as our first of the year here at Kokomo Speedway. Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that we are back in action here at Indiana's Baddest Bull Ring just a couple weeks from tonight. Just a couple weeks from tonight, Friday, May 8th, Saturday, May 9th. High Limit is in town for the Driven to Save Lives Brian Clausen Hero Classic, the All-Star Circuit of Champions with High Limits. That's in town just about 2 weeks from tonight. We hope to see you. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, we are at it tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, Kokomo Grand Prix, Sunday night, night 2, as Mother Nature got the win on Friday, just like how it went last year. But we are here Saturday and Sunday ready to throw down here at Indiana's Baddest Bull Ring. Heat race number 2 rolling their way on here for the Kokomo Sprints. 2 of 3, 7 cars in each heat race, 8 laps in each heat race, and everyone is going through into the A-main. Here in heat race number 2, we're going to see David Hare and Shelby Hinton up on the front row, with Zach Pretorius and Rylan Gray behind them. Camden Winter and Adam Taylor in row 3 with Jackson Sloan to round things out there in row number 4 in P7. Shelby Hinton, Rylan Gray, Zach Pretorius all able to grab heat race wins last year. We'll see who can grab one here tonight and start off 2026 with a heat race win. Rylan Gray in the 06, Zach Pretorius in the 9Z, and Shelby Hinton in the 2B, all able to grab a heat race win last year. Who can start 2026 off with one here tonight? So again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, race fans? Welcome to Kokomo Speedway. These are our Kokomo Sprints. You'll be seeing them in action all year long here at Indiana's baddest bull ring. Heat race number 2. It's David Hare, Shelby Hinton to the green. Wheeling it around the outside and down the backstretch through 3 and 4. That's Shelby Hinton in the 2B, able to take the top spot. And he's got Rylan Gray right behind him. Zach Pretorius up into 3rd. Those are the heat race winners from last year. They're off to a great start here in this second heat race. Can Rylan Gray attempt to reel in this leader? These guys are duking it out back here in the back, as well as Jackson Sloan working around Camden Winter in that black 16 on the outside. These guys got to keep it clean because they are set for the feature here tonight as long as they make it through their heat races. But they are out there racing hard. That's Jackson Sloan on the outside, Camden Winter on the inside, duking it out for the final spot. But for the final spot, they're still racing. That's what we like to see. Laps taking off here in heat race number 2. Shelby Hinton looking good up here in the front. This is Shelby Hinton in a 2B. And he has got a decent lead over Rylan Gray behind him. As I said, Shelby Hinton able to grab a heat race win last year. He's looking to start off strong here in 2026. Zach Pretorius, Rylan Gray here. Zach Pretorius trying to reel him in this 9Z. Both these drivers also able to grab a heat race in 2025. Shelby Hinton strong and smooth up in the front, but Zach Pretorius keeping Rylan Gray honest right here as they come around to 2 to go. 2 more times around as they cross. Yellow flag's going to wave, though. We've got one around over there in turn 1. That is Adam Taylor in the 8T that finds himself facing the wrong way. So track crew on the scene, they give Adam Taylor a push over there. He will get the ship righted and get it started back up, and hopefully he can stay with us. I believe the 44 of David Hare pulled off the track. As yes, that is David Hare right there in the 44. He pulled off back into the pit lane. So have to think maybe those two got in a bit of a scrap. We were watching these leaders up here in the front. Adam Taylor, and it may have been David Hare that may have got involved in a bit of a scuffle over there as David Hare had to pull off in the 44. Adam Taylor stays with us in the 8T. Again, we're starting everyone tonight. They're not racing for transfer spots. So hopefully David Hare's got everything good to go back there, and he will be good for an A feature here tonight. Ready to go back to green. Of course, this is going to reset the field. Can Rylan Gray or Zach Pretorius give something to Shelby Hinton up there? Shelby Hinton was strong and smooth, comfortable and confident up in that top spot. Now he's going to have to lead him to a restart. Shelby Hinton, Rylan Gray, Zach Pretorius all got a heat race win last year. They're looking to start 2026 with one. Heat race number 2, back to the green. Great restart for Shelby Hinton. You see him able to widen the gap just like that. They are stacked up back there in the back. This is Camden Winter down on the inside of Jackson Sloan as they race back here for the bottom half of the group. On the inside, Camden Winter trying to take the spot. This is for P4 and 5. Good outside line there for Jackson Sloan. He's able to hang on. White flag is going to wave for Shelby Hinton. One more time around for our leaders. These guys still duking it out back in the back, but this is our leader, Shelby Hinton 2B. Took it up there on the start, was able to start on the outside of row 1, and from that second spot, took it all the way. Checker flag in the air. Shelby Hinton wins it here. Heat race number 2. Rylan Gray comes across for 2nd. Zach Pretorius in 3rd. Jackson Sloan comes across for 4th. With Adam Taylor in 5th. Camden Winter will come across for P6. And David Hare did not take the checker flag. We saw him head back to the pit lane. But it's Shelby Hinton that starts off 2026 with a heat race win. So Robert Ballou in race 1, Shelby Hinton in heat race number 2, heat race number 3. going to roll their way on here in just a moment. This will be our final heat race for the Kokomo Sprints. Final heat race coming up for the Kokomo Sprints. NOS Energy Drink Midgets National Championship waits on deck. And again, as the next heat race rolls their way on, let's again take this short moment to show a quick thanks to some of the folks that make racing possible here at Kokomo Speedway, such as H&R Industrial. With decades of experience in industrial manufacturing, H&R Industrial is dedicated to quality-driven systems and has positioned itself to be a partner throughout the entire process. And Financial Builders of Kokomo, where you're in control of your own investment and they will put you in control of your financial future. You can find out more info at financialbuilders.org. Heat race number 3 going to roll their way on for the Kokomo Sprints. Taking a look at our field here for heat race number 3, it's going to be Cameron LaRose in the 13P from Phoenix, Arizona. And he'll be on the inside of David Gasper from Santa Barbara, California, as it's 2 West Coasters up on the front row. Cameron LaRose in the 13P, David Gasper in the 77S for the front row, C.J. Leary. C.J. Leary grabbed 3 heat race wins last year, 3 heat wins for C.J. Leary. He also did win King of the Hill for the Sprint Car Smackdown last year. So C.J. Leary knows how to get around here in a sprint car. He rolls off 3rd on the inside of Gavin Miller. And remember that Gavin Miller, C.J. Leary, David Gasper, they were top 3 for qualifying tonight for the Kokomo Sprints. Gavin Miller in that 21 AZ rolling down the front stretch and into 1 and 2. He did take fast time for the Kokomo Sprints earlier this evening. Aaron Davis, Mike Miller, Landon Butler round things out here for heat race number 3. C.J. Leary out there in the 5A from Greenfield, Indiana. He's the only driver in the field that grabbed the heat race win last year. Only one in the field that grabbed the heat race win last year. He rolls off on the inside of row 2, and he get by the front 2 to grab another heat race win. Can someone else out there add their name to the list, as it has been at least a year for some of those drivers out there? Not sure if, I'm sure some of them have never been able to take a heat race win here. I don't have everyone's stats right in front of me. I'm not that good. But it's C.J. Leary out there that was able to grab 3 last year, and we will see if he can grab another one right here to start, or does someone else throw their name into the hat for the heat race win. Last one here for the Kokomo Sprints, Cameron LaRose, David Gasper. Up there on the front row, C.J. Leary, Gavin Miller in the row number 2. Aaron Davis, Mike Miller, Landon Butler. NOS Energy Drink Midgets coming up next, but it's heat race 3 for the Kokomo Sprints. To the green. Through 1 and 2, trying to slip back down to the inside. That's David Gasper as they send it over there into 1 and 2. And back down the front stretch to 13 of Cameron LaRose, able to hang on to the lead there on lap 1. Back through 1 and 2, it's Cameron LaRose up here in the front as these guys duke it out, Gavin Miller and C.J. Leary. As they slide it back through 3 and 4, come across to complete lap 2. They've settled in a single file quickly here in heat race number 3. As second, third, and fourth here on the screen, they are running very close to each other out there. That is David Gasper with C.J. Leary on the outside. And Gavin Miller trying to close the gap. Here comes C.J. Leary. He may send it down to the inside, looking for the slide job right up in front here of David Gasper. David Gasper's going to try to cross back down and into 3 and 4. He'll look for the slide of his own. C.J. Leary with the grip on the outside, though. He makes the pass, and now he'll try to reel in Cameron LaRose up at the front. But with laps winding down, will C.J. Leary have the time to do it? This is Cameron LaRose right here in the 13R leader. He's going to come across. It's going to be 2 to go this time by, 2 more times around. Cameron LaRose looking strong, coming across to take the white. C.J. Leary's got 1 more lap to do it, but it is a heat race. This isn't for the feature. Can he get a good 1 and 2 and look for it here in the 3 and 4? Down the back stretch, good 1 and 2 exit right there for Cameron LaRose. Looks like he'll hang on out of 3 and 4. The 13P is going to have number 1. Cameron LaRose wins it here in heat race number 3. Aaron LaRose able to hold off the king of the hill last year, CJ Leary. And Cameron LaRose will take the dub here in heat race number 3. CJ Leary behind him, David Gasper, Gavin Miller, Aaron Davis round of the top 5, with Mike Miller and Landon Butler to close out heat race number 3. So that's going to do it for heat racing, ladies and gentlemen. That'll do it for the Kokomo Sprints for now. Next time I talk to you folks, it'll be for feature racing later here tonight. But NOS Energy Drink Midgets National Championship waiting in the wings. And once they roll their way back on, you guys will be hearing from the man himself, the voice of USAC, Brian Holbert.
Thank you very much. Just a few minutes here before we bring our opening heat race out for the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. Heat race number 1 brought to you by K1 Race Gear. Ten laps the distance in each one of these heat races. Everybody moving on into everyone going to be moving on into the feature event, but still you want to finish in the top 6. That way you get your time back on the inversion. Several drivers as well running double duty, so I want to give those drivers ample time to get out of the sprint car and make their way over into their midget. And joining me here for the heat races, it is the artist formerly known as Christy Bemis. We're talking about Miss Christy Leary.
It's a tough change.
Finally memorized first and last name, you go and change it on it.
It only took me 27 years.
Only took you 27 years. 25 drivers on hand. Word is we might pick up a couple of tomorrow to see who makes their way through the gates. Same on the sprint car side. Of course, Lincoln Park Speedway opening their season tonight as well. They have a stout field of sprint cars. And, of course, you'll probably see a few of those drivers make their way up to Kokomo for night number 2 of the Kokomo Grand Prix. The newly redesigned Toyota Racing Development Pace Truck making its way down the front straightaway. Cars will begin to make their way out to the Kokomo Speedway. For K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 1, lineup set to find Cale Drake on the pole position out of Collinsville, Oklahoma, the RMS Enviro Fast Speedway Toyota Spike chassis number 4. Next to him should be the 81G of Rylan Gray. He comes to you out of Greenfield, Indiana. Driver the Ace Corp Stanton Link chassis, Gray Auto Kaiser wheels, number 81. Second row from the inside out of Columbus, Indiana, the Midwest 2 Mills. The Cure starts now. Stanton Link chassis, Lynch Machining, sets for fabricating number 43. And then we find from the 4th starting spot, Logan Seavey, the Desnuda Organic Tequila, Indy Power Sports, Stanton Spike chassis number 57. The 87 from 5th is going to be Justin Granted of Ione, California. Driver the NOS Energy Drink, pristineauction.com, Mobile One, Toyota Racing Development, CB Industries number 87. And outside of him, tonight's Learn Lab Quick Qualifier, the Purple Heart Foundation, Metaloid 1, Acrozil, 4 Kings Racing number 14 of Kevin Thomas Jr. Hayden Reinbold of the Gilbert, Arizona, the AME Electrical, Jugo Superfoods number 19 AZ. He'll roll from 7th. From 8th, set to be Bradley Cox out of Black Forest, Colorado. The Red Line Performance Roofing, REM Motorsports, Cappy Mason number 45. And your final starter, Hales out of Concord, California. Driving the number 99, that'll be Robert Carson in the LOK Enterprises Esslinger Spike, Backwoods MC, number 99. As that'll be your scheduled lineup again for K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 1 of 3 tonight with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. So just like we saw earlier, drivers getting instructed over the receiver one-way communication to go ahead and roll high on the speedway, wanting to try to bring that high side in just a little bit more. Sprint cars quickly moving the track up throughout their heat races. And Christy, such a deep field of talent here tonight. And a lot of the drivers we see in the pits, we're fortunate we'll see all season long. The field of full-time national drivers this year absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I think we do have a really great field of full-timers with the USAC Nos Energy Drink National Midget Series. You've got a couple of them here in K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 1. Cale Drake, I believe, running the full season with RMS. Logan Seavey, of course, with Abacus Racing. I think Gunnar Setzer, full-timer. Justin Grant, Kevin Thomas Jr., Hayden Reinbold, all looking for that championship.
Change on the lineup. Now, the rule is the right rear you use in qualifying must be affixed into the heat race. 2 drivers had to change the right rear, Rylan Gray and Robert Carson, both changing right rear tires, so that will move the 81 to the back of the lineup along with the 99. So once we get everybody in their proper starting positions and problems, the Indy Power Sports Abacus Racing number 57, Logan Seavey, just took a quick turn down to the infield. He is headed to the Indy Metal finishing work area.
Well, what a tough way to start the season.
So you can take this lineup, crumple it up, throw it in the trash can because it is completely changed.
Yeah, we'll just take this one from the top. So that moves Gunnar Setzer up to the front row.
So losing cars from both the inside and the outside lane, so the field going to have to be crisscrossed. Drake down to the infield. What do you got?
Well, you just talked about Logan Seavey having those problems. Didn't see any fluid or anything like that coming out from the bottom side of that Indy Power Sports 57. All 4 Hoosier tires appear to be up too, so you have to imagine it's something internal on that Abacus Racing 57. Hopefully he can make a trip to the Indy Metal finishing work area and make it back out here for the start of heat race number 1.
Looking back to the banners, and that's exactly where he is right now, the crew going to work. So he will get a little bit of time down to the Indy Metal finishing work area. So again, Cale Drake, Gunnar Setzer on your opening row now. Justin Grant and Kevin Thomas Jr. now going to row number 2. So for KTJ, again, your quick qualifier was set to go on the outside of row number 3. This makes it a lot easier for him to potentially get up and really shake up the lineup in the main event by getting a heat race win.
It's a line we hear very often out of Mitchell Moles, who often qualifies very well with the AMSL USAC National Sprint Car Series. He doesn't like it that he qualifies so well and then has to start in that 3rd row, and that's the way that the format is, and he's obviously very good at his job regardless of that. So this circumstance, however, definitely giving them a little bit of an advantage in that regard.
It definitely is. Him and Justin Grant of row number 2 now. Hayden Reinbold, as the time expires in the Indy Metal finishing work area, goes from the 5th starting spot. Bradley Cox will go from 6th. And again, the 81G, who is set to go on the outside of row number 1, did change a right rear tire, so that is why he is now in the final row, along with the 99 of Robert Carson.
Of course, if Logan Seavey were able to make it back out before the green flag, he would tag the tail of this one.
And looks like that will not be the case. We'll see if we can get back and get a word and find out what is going on with the Abacus Racing team. Nevertheless, here we go to the NOS Energy Start Can, and K1 Gear Heat Race number 1 is underway. Field going to race off into turns 1 and 2. Who's going to have the advantage onto the back straightaway? High side flying right now for the 43 of Gunnar Setzer. He'll take off at the top spot. Kevin Thomas Jr. up into 2nd quickly. The 4 Cale Drake falls to 3rd. Justin Grant and Hayden Reinbold, your top 5 in the opening lap.
Yeah, it took just a second for Gunnar Setzer to be able to get going on that initial start, but once he wound it up in turns 1 and 2, it really took off on the top side.
Working to the exit to number 4 on the high side. Setzer with the link chassis, number 43 in command. Kevin Thomas, we saw him working low last time around. Goes up to the high side this time. Has a good run onto the far side of the speedway. He'll close a few car links and make their way into turns 3 and 4. Now he's going to go ahead and peek down to that middle groove. Not able to make up any ground. Setzer continues to lead. And that allowed Cale Drake that time to make up a little bit of ground.
Cale Drake has been running just 1 lane higher, just barely, in the corners than everybody else, pushing the envelope just a little bit more than what you're seeing out of everybody else.
Saw him diamond the turn that time through turns 1 and 2. He graces the high side all the way through turns 3 and 4. Justin Grant trying to capitalize on that. The SmackDown champion trying to come around to steal the spot. Not able to do so far. And SCB Industries NOS Energy Drink number 87. Hayden Reinbold running in 5th. Challenge for the final spot in the inversion right now. Here comes the Ace Corp number 81. Rylan Gray going to take that spot away from Bradley Cox. Cox back to 7th with Robert Carson running out through field.
So it's no harm, no foul for Rylan Gray as long as he's able to retain that 6th spot and get his qualifying time back as we move forward.
Yeah, that's one thing to point out. I'm glad you said that. Yes, he did lose his starting spot in the heat race. No, he does not lose his time, so they don't get kicked twice for the infraction. Working into the closing laps now as they come around to click off lap number 7. Again, 10 laps the distance in these heat races. Gunnar Setzer just shy of a second between himself and Kevin Thomas Jr. as Justin Grant, in the meantime, has taken over the 3rd spot from Cale Drake. Drake looking a little low at the exit to number 4, trying to get a run on the Toyota Power number 87, dead ahead of him. So far not able to. Problems, one driver rolling slow. I believe that is the Colorado racer. It is Bradley Cox who's going to bring out the caution.
So Gunnar Setzer had a really healthy lead. Surely not what he wanted to see for the caution to come out. And Kevin Thomas Jr., I'm guessing, feeling pretty confident about a restart.
Yeah, Gunnar Setzer almost had a second between himself and Kevin Thomas Jr. And we always kind of pointed out under these yellow flag conditions, remember, these drivers, they have 5 independent adjustments in the cockpit that they can make. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe KTJ's reaching up, do a little twisting and turning, trying to adjust the weight transfer and get a little bit more drive out of that number 14 machine. Justin Grant looking to really utilize this restart. Him and Cale Drake with a good multi-lap battle. Grant finally taken with the 3rd spot. Drake in 4th. Reinbold, Rylan Gray, those 6 drivers sitting right now in that inversion. Carson rounding out your field. Bradley Cox, unfortunately, done as they make their way by the NOS Energy Star Can. Setzer bringing him all the way to the exit to number 4. He fires on the throttle, and we get back after it. Challenge for 3rd. The 4 back to the outside. He's going to take it. He's going to look for 2nd this time, and it turns 3 and 4. Cale Drake trying to get a run as they come around to the wave of the white flag. 1 to go. Setzer bouncer a little bit that time over in turns 1 and 2. Finds his way onto the back straightaway. Kevin Thomas holds on to 2nd for the time being. 2 more turns to wrap this one up, and it will be the cure starts now. Number 43 of Gunnar Setzer walking away with heat race win. Kevin Thomas Jr., Cale Drake, Justin Grant, Hayden Reinbold, your top 5. Rylan Gray in the final spot of the inversion. Carson, Cox, and Seavey unofficially rounding out your field. So getting the job done in K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 1. He's from down the road in Columbus, Indiana. The cure starts now. Midwest 2 Mills, SR11 Link Chassis. Kevin Arnold on number 43. Race fans, give him a hand. Gunnar Setzer. So he will come to a stop down on the front straightaway, and he'll get a word with Drake York.
Gunnar Setzer grabs the win in K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 1. And Gunnar, I know you didn't want to see that yellow late, but talk about the high side of the speedway. You sure seem to make a lot of speed up there, but it doesn't look like there's a lot to lean on the curb right now, so to speak. So talk about how you have to navigate the high side of the speedway with not much to lean on at the moment.
Yeah, in 3 and 4 it felt pretty good. I feel like we had a pretty good car for what the track was like, but yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the engine, but it definitely wasn't firing there. But yeah, I definitely had a good car, and it was a pretty big rut getting in turn 1, 2. It was pretty sketchy. So, I just had to slide up. But I need to thank all my sponsors. Link, the cure starts now. Forgetting some here. But anyway, I haven't been here in a while, heat race. But anyways, everyone back at the pits. Sean, too, my dad, Keith, Brandon, Kevin, and, everyone else is on the car. You know you are. I just haven't been here in a while.
Last year's National Sprint Car Rookie of the Year gets the first heat race win of the 2026 season. That's Gunnar Setzer, your winner of K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 1.
Thank you very much. TJ Ford's Heat Race number 2 rolling out to the Speedway. Drivers slated for the polls out of Beverly, Louisiana. The Dusty Moon Veterinary Services. Chevrolet Beast number 4B is Shelby Hinton. Outside of him will be Mac Leopard. Leopard out of Beaver Creek, Ohio. The Great Company, Speedway Toyota Spike Chassis number 14L this evening. The 20Q. Rick and Reese out of Canyon, Texas. The CR Towing and Crushing, Dumas Iron and Metal, D&D Racing, Moving Dirt, Sonny's Grocery, Chandler Grand Prix, number 20Q. Going to go from 3rd. From 4th, it will be Zach Weigel. He's out of Belle Prix, Ohio. The Odell Motorsports, Toyota Link Chassis, Odell Trucking, number 18. The 54 out of Zanesville, Indiana. The Metal Aid 1 Performance, Stanton DRC entry of Jacob Boxhill. He'll go from 5th. From 6th. Colton Robinson out of Titusville, Florida. The Precise Tooling Solutions, Speedway Total Link Chassis, TRD, number 67K. Kyle Jones, Snidely Whiplash out of Kennedale, Texas. The England Machine and Tool, EA Stealth Spike, Schoenfeld, number 7TX, will go from 7th. And your 8th starter is set to be Todd Claver out of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. The Badger Music and Equipment, Big Daddy's Games, Norris Tavern Club, Lamar, Kessinger BB7 powered, number 55. As that'll be your scheduled lineup again for TJ Ford's Heat Race number 2. So again, having everybody roll the high side of the speedway here. They'll come up to greet the back of the Toyota Racing Development pace truck here in just a moment.
Definitely seemed like the top side was the dominant lane in that first heat race for K1 Race Gear. Gunnar Setzer, like he said, and I noticed that as well, engine not really wanting to take off when he first got on the throttle, but once he got into turn 1, by that point it had already sorted itself out. So I know they're going to go to work on that, but they're fast nonetheless.
Getting loaded up is what it looks like, and once it gets cleaned out, yeah, like I said, once it gets the RPM, it works just fine as we head into TJ4 heat race number 2. Again, Shelby Hinton, another driver that had problems earlier tonight during Dirt Draft Hot Laps, came out for Learn Lap qualifying. Opening lap was decent. Second time around, he really saw improvement, puts himself up on the front row of heat race number 2. Mac Leopard next to him, Brecken Reese and Zach Weigel, Jacob Boxell, Colton Robinson, Kyle Jones, and Todd Cleaver. And Cleaver's a name we've heard a lot in midget racing along the years in the Badger side of things. This is the first time he has been in competition with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. So we'll see what the 47-year-old racer can do from the back of the field. Around to the NOS Energy start can. We're underway. Hinton going to take off with the lead, 3 wide for the top spot. They try to go 4 wide. Right now, the Beast Plant number 4 going to pace the field as they work into turns 3 and 4 here in the opening lap. Chasing him right now, the car getting all kinds of tight on him. That was the 14L of Leopard. Tries to hold on to second, but it's going to be Brecken Reese at the line in 20.
Now Leopard fights back on the top side of turn number 2. He gets by Brecken Reese. I think there was a little bit of contact between those two coming on turn 2.
Just a shade of contact on the Hoosiers. Boxell catching a little bit of a rut there. You saw all of a sudden a bunch of material flying up over the fence. Keeps the car underneath them, though, as they work onto the back straightaway. That does cost him just a little bit, though, as they make their way into turns 3 and 4. He's got company once again from the 20. Here comes the 18 in the meantime. Trying to get up through the running order here. That is Weigel with Colton Robinson with the final spot in the inversion right now as they work through turns 3 and 4. But it is Shelby Hinton so far in command. Challenge for second starting to shape up, though.
Boxell moving himself right up the racetrack. He slides up in front of Leopard in turn number 2. Has the spot for just a moment, but Leopard fights back.
Leopard clawing his way back in a second. Here comes Boxell once again. The Zanesville, Indiana driver, not done in the Metalloid 1 Performance Parts number 54. Leopard back to the bottom, up across the racetrack. No dice there. Ooh, I thought the 54 was going to tag the concrete and go for a ride. Saves it, but still trying to hold on to second. Leopard there to try to get it. He's got it in the 14.
Back to the hot side for Jacob Boxell. Mac Leopard slides up in front of him, blocks that line. So now Boxell looks to the inside. He shuts that door as well.
Boy, they're battling it out for that second spot. In the meantime, Shelby Hinton says thank you very much as he has opened it up to just shy of a second. .969. Look out, 2 wheels don't work it upside down. Goes the 14. Hard to see in the glare of the sun, but all of a sudden seeing the left side come up, brought it down, then contact to the concrete, and away she went. Safety crew up on the scene. We'll get word on the condition of the driver here in just a moment. And up and out of the car, race fans, he is okay. Replay coming up here on the FloRacing broadcast. Drake York is down with the driver. We'll see if we can get with him in just a moment. But in the meantime, yeah, goes in, bikes the car, saves it, but then not able to keep it off the wall. And, man, landed right on top of Brecken Reese as he was trying to make his way by. Let's go ahead and check in with Drake.
Catching up with Mac Leopard as he exits the 14 machine over here in turn number 2. A very spirited battle between you, Jacob Boxell, and a few others coming down here into turn number 2. What did you see happen from your vantage point?
I was just trying to defend my position. I guess I just ran it in too hard and flipped her, obviously.
Tough break for Mac Leopard for sure. There's quite a bit of damage on this race car, particularly looking at the front end too. The left rear tires popped off the bead. We'll let the Chase McDermott racing crew get this thing back to the pit area and see if it'll be good to go later on in tonight's A main event.
Thank you very much. And as they were showing the replay there and kind of slowing things down, seeing where not only the 20Q came in, but Colton Robinson right there, Zach Weigel right there, and Robinson slow. He got some contact, and Kyle Jones, not enough time to get on the binder, slammed right into the back of the 67K. So those will be two more drivers to keep our eyes on. So again, under red flag conditions, for anybody just joining us on the broadcast or in the grandstands here at Kokomo, don't forget we race again tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Shelby Hinton, your race leader. And talk about a 180 from last year where they could not get the car running, could not get out here to compete here for the Grand Prix. Tonight, leading in heat race competition. Mac Leopard, unfortunately, getting upside down. Boxel going to take over that second spot. Reese, if he is able to continue on, then Weigel, Robinson, Jones, and Cleaver should round out your lineup once we get rolling once again.
And not just leading the heat race for Shelby Hinton, really kind of putting on a dominating performance. Got almost a second lead there. Now, of course, both Mac Leopard and Jacob Boxel having the duel that they did gave him a little bit more breathing room, but still, they're fast.
Shelby, a lot of great experience in micro competition, former national champion of the National Open Wheel 600 Series, getting into midgets over the last couple of seasons. Last year, really his first full-time jaunt into the Four Cylinders of Fury. This year, bringing a little bit more momentum as we see here in this heat race. So we'll see if he can hold on through the restart to potentially pick up the win here in TJ Ford's heat race number 2. Caution lights will be called for, and the field will begin to refire.
You have to imagine that the right side of Brecken Reese's car may have some damage, so we might get a look at it here as it goes by.
Also a little curious, it looked like the cylinders maybe were loaded up on the 54. That thing was belching smoke like a John Deere as they went to refire it. Drake, you're down to the infield. What do you got for us?
Well, you guys are talking about the great run Shelby Hinton is currently putting together here in this heat race. One thing to note, he's 1 for 1 on heat races tonight. He won his heat race in the sprint car early on, and Clad Enterprises, the team he's running in the last couple of years, has been known for running the Chevrolet engine on dirt, which has seen some success with some drivers like Jason McDougall behind the wheel. But Shelby and this team, once they get this engine right where they want in that sweet spot, this Chevy comes to life, something you don't see a lot of these days, at least in the U.S. anymore. Something cool about midget racing too, Brian, that we love is seeing different manufacturers have good runs against some of the best in the world as we're lights out.
Indeed, thank you very much. Single file through the NOS Energy start can. Again, 10 laps the total distance here in heat race competition. Hinton gets the Chevrolet wound up and back underway. He's going to have a challenge coming immediately from Jacob Boxel across the nose of the 4. Can he answer? He does. Down to the inside, looking to take the race lead back as they work into turns 3 and 4. Here comes Hinton up across the speedway. Close, but it's going to be Boxel who takes over.
Jacob Boxel very quickly throwing that slide job on Shelby Hinton. The question was, could he hold him off down the backstretch? He does, and now, of course, he's walking away.
Boxel going to diamond her through turns 3 and 4 there as Hinton now trying to hold on to second. Weigel coming after him. Robinson, Reese in a good battle going on for the 4th position. Ooh, look out for the 18. Got her a little wheel stand to the exit to number 2. He'll fight for second as the checker flag drops in the middle. One number 54, Jacob Boxel gets the job done here in TJ 14 race number 2. Zach Weigel holds on to second. Shelby Hinton, Brecken Reese, Colton Robinson, and Kyle Jones finish inside the inversion. Cleaver and Leopard unofficially rounding out your field. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, out of Zanesville, Indiana, driver the Four Kings Racing, Metalloid 1, Performance Parts number 54. Race fans, give him a hand, Jacob Boxel. Great restart and a great battle to get the win by the driver of the number 54. Again, Weigel in second. Hinton ends up in third. Reese, Robinson, your top 5 as Genevieve Malone down trackside to get to work with our heat race winner.
Jacob Boxel always making it fun. A 5th place charge all the way to first for that TJ Forge heat race. Now, Jacob, how do you approach a restart knowing you were getting some momentum before?
Yeah, I felt like we had a really good race car. I was kind of surprised he didn't slide himself there, so I seen him kind of enter through the middle, and I think if I drove it in there hard enough, we could have beat him to the fence, and we were lucky enough to do that. So, yeah, I think we'll start second now in the feature, and I just want to say a quick prayer to my buddy James Crow back at home. We're praying for you, buddy, thinking about you.
Jacob Boxell taking that TJ Forge Heat Race 2 win.
Thank you very much. K&N Filters, heat race number 3, set to make its way out to the racing surface. We'll find Gavin Miller out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, in the Sound Gear TRD Mobile 1 Curb Records, number 97 of the pole position. Outside of him, it'll be Thomas Mesral out of San Jose, California, the England Machine and Tool EA Stealth Spike High Performance Lubricants, number 7X. Ethan Mitchell from 3rd. He's out of Mooresville, North Carolina. The Joy of Seating, Walker Filtration, and Right Helmets, number 19M for Little Bundy. And outside of him, also hailing in North Carolina, out of Huntersville, she drives the Precision Performance Concrete Toyota Link Chassis, number 94. That is Hayden Wise. Trevor Klein, as we continue the theme of North Carolina drivers, out of Mooresville, driver of the Bellwood Auto Body, Stanton Spike, DC Machine, number 55. He'll go from 5th. From 6th, Jacob Denny. He's out of Galloway, Ohio. Driver of the JBL Audio TRD Mobile 1 Toyota Curb Records, number 67. Brandon Carr from across the pond in Sheffield, United Kingdom. The J. Davidson Scrap Metal Speedway Toyota Link KKM Curb Agajania, number 98K. And your final starter is set to be the driver to Wheatfield, Indiana. The Horizon Carpentry, Mongo Crane, Mac Electric, EA Stealth Spike, number 7T of Adam Taylor. As that'll be your scheduled lineup again for K&N Filters Heat Race number 3.
3 of 4 Keith Kunz Curb Agajanian entries in this heat race.
The field continuing to make its way out to the speedway. Again, rolling middle to high side of the racetrack. Real quick, Drake, what do you got?
Just wanted to highlight Hayden Wise here, slated to start off the outside of row number 2 in her first ever start here at the Kokomo Speedway. Solid result in Learn Lab qualifying. She told me she already loves this place. And you talked about her uncle Josh Wise. I think it's important we mention one of the main figures on this team. That, of course, is Jay Drake. He's been with Hayden for over a year now, helping her out, mentoring her, too. And if you look at Jay Drake's career, he was one of the best. There's no question about it. He was a USAC National Sprint Car Champion, 17 feature event wins with an Austrian Energy Drink USAC National Midget Championship, including 4 Crown, Turkey Night, the Hut 100, just to name a few. So Jay Drake also has had a lot of success on the, I guess you call it the administration side of midget racing too, as he was a big part of Keith Kunz Curb Agajanian for the last handful of years. So Hayden Wise, between her uncle Josh and Jay Drake, in very good hands. She rolls from 4th.
Championships, race wins, and a lot of experience helping to guide that young lady. Of course, not only in the midget side, but also in the sprint car ranks. Has been in wing sprint car competition quite a bit over the last season or so. We'll see how she does starting on the outside of row number 2. In the meantime, the NOS Energy start can, and we're underway. Duke it out and dice it up for the opening spot, and that one's going to come all back. NOS Energy start can is the firing point. You see Dave down there in the K1 uniform. He is right by where that starting point is.
So Gavin Miller, the car, taking the penalty for that one, got into the start just a little bit too early.
Again, side by side, nose to tail, till that point. So that's going to swap things around in the front row. Team is going to drop down. The 19M going to go to the outside here. EA Stealth and Honda on the front row to the green. Team is going to try and take advantage. So is Lil Bundy. It's going to be Ethan Mitchell charging the outside in 19. He'll lead the way into turns 3 and 4. Opening lap in the hands of the 19. Team is running in second. Miller right now running in third.
Thomas Messerall has slid up the racetrack just a little bit on that exit turn 2. Ethan Mitchell able to squeeze by. Now Thomas Messerall not going anywhere so fast.
Now Team is starting to close in, runs right through the middle groove into turn number 3, a little bit lower exit, turn number 4. Drivers right now sitting inside the inversion. You got Mitchell, Messerall, Miller, Klein, Denny, and Hayden Wise. She's been shuffled back to the 6th spot. Carr and Taylor right now on the outside looking into that one. Up across the racetrack with the 55, the Bellwood Autobody entry. Body was making all the way to concrete there for a second, lost a lot of speed. Has to go out to JBL number 67, Jacob Denny, to go on the attack over turns 1 and 2. He'll grab that spot as he works onto the far side of the racetrack.
Jacob Denny running in the 4th position. Gavin Miller in 3rd. Of course, he is still sitting in that spot that he was penalized to. Able to continue hanging in there with Thomas Messerall, who's running in 2nd. But now, Ethan Mitchell needing to step away.
Last time by just shy of 9/10 of a second. Little bit of a bobble by Miller in the 97. Through turns 3 and 4. Gets the car back underneath him, though. And problems, looks like, for the JBL number 67 of Gavin Miller. Looks like the left rear is starting to go down. It is definitely soft, and you see that car really leaning hard on the left side. So that Hoosier just about done for. Yeah, the wheel is going down. It's tapping the dirt, but he is staying in the throttle, trying to stay up there and stay at speed. Right now, ooh, there it goes. Thought maybe it was going to hold on, but it finally let loose. Jacob Denny, in the 67. Apologies for that. Driver losing the Hoosier on the left rear. He'll limp it down into the Indy Metal finishing work area. And Drake, you had a chance to see that for a couple of laps. Unfortunately, not enough air pressure and a whole lot of friction.
You're exactly right, Brian. And the lucky thing there for Jacob Denny is the tire didn't actually explode. And what can happen there is when that tire explodes, it can very much so damage the left rear suspension, including the shock, torsion arm, you name it, and including the nerf bar. When he rolled past me here on the front straightaway, I didn't see any damage of that sort. I don't think they're going to have a chance, though, to get back out here on the speedway, Brian. His lights are already out.
Tough break for the driver of the number 67. Again, Jacob Denny, my apologies.
And he had a really great qualifying effort, too, third in Learn Lap qualifying.
So we'll put him single file and set him loose once more. Ethan Mitchell, 1.058 seconds to the good before the caution. We get back after it. You'll have Timez, then Gavin Miller. 1, 2, and 3 down the front straightaway. Here comes Timez on the attack to the inside. Couldn't get there. Ethan Mitchell going to power right by him here as they work onto the far side of the racetrack. Second, third, and fourth. That is all up for grabs. Here comes the 97, the sound gear entry down to the inside. Timez to the outside at the line. It's Meserol by .024.
Gavin Miller still hanging in there. Slides up across the nose of the 7X of Meserol. Timez fights back to the inside. They're side to side down the backstretch.
Crossing it up and slicing it out here as they work through turns 3 and 4. Miller back down to the bottom. Timez on the outside holds on to it. Behind them, watching it all go down is Trevor Klein and Hayden Wise and Brandon Carr right now. Those drivers sitting inside the inversion. Battle for second. Not done yet. White flag is out. Thomas Meserol around the outside, holds on to it, bounces her off into turns 1 and 2. Thought he was going to bounce her onto the wall for a second. Good save by Timez, but up front, checker flag going to fall on this one. Ethan Mitchell, the 19, going to pick up the heat race win. Second going to go to Thomas Meserol. Gavin Miller, Trevor Klein, Hayden Wise, and Brandon Carr unofficially rounding out your field. That's your winner, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you out of Mooresville, North Carolina, the joy of seating, Walker Filtration, Rye Helmet, Spike, Bundy Build Honda, number 19M. Race fans, give him a hand. Ethan Mitchell getting the job done. And K&N Filters, heat race number 3. He'll pull down to the front straightaway, and he'll get a word with Drake York.
When I talked to Ethan before the heat races, he said, well, I'm going to need something to happen off the start if I'm going to want a chance to get those cars off the front row. Something did happen. He got moved up to the front row, and he dominates K&N Filters heat race number 3. And Ethan, I was just talking about how I wouldn't say you had no confidence, but there's very little confidence. So where's the confidence level at now after a heat race winning by quite a big margin going into tonight's feature event?
Oh, it's a lot better, you know. We struggled a little bit in qualifying there and got a little bit behind the 8-ball, but to win it there, I know we got a gift starting on that front row, but it's still hard to beat these guys no matter where you start, you know. So we were pretty good. You know, I'm a little worn out after that one. A couple times into one, I'm like, oh, shit, this might or might not be good, but we managed to pull off the win, and that'll be the best starting spot I can get for this feature, so I'm happy.
That's a very happy Ethan Mitchell. He gets the win in K&N Filters heat race number 3. Also want to say hi to his dad, Big Bundy, working back in the shop in North Carolina as Ethan gets the win in heat 3.
Thank you very much. A little bit of track prep going on here. They'll let a little bit of moisture down, roll it in. In the meantime, here on the FloRacing broadcast, we'll be back.
I'm Thomas Meserol. You're watching USAC Racing on Flo.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence. Order online at amsoil.com.
Car IQ Pay allows people to pay for all vehicle expenses without a credit card or a fuel card. As an all-in-one payment solution, Car IQ Pay takes care of every step of the fueling journey, from station routing to payment and fraud prevention to simplification of back-end reconciliations. Drivers can find the nearest fuel station right on the app's fuel map, or even filter locations based on their preferred merchant or fuel type. It's seamless. Just a quick enter of the pump number and you're ready to fuel up. Car IQ Pay generates an automatic virtual receipt that enters into a single transaction ledger, giving fleet operators a complete simplified view of their total spend. What's even more, Car IQ Pay gathers vehicle data to give fleets complete transparency into their fleet, from route behavior to overall share of wallet. Car IQ, the better way for fleets to pay. Find out more at gocariq.com.
Something has awakened. The horsepower and torque you always knew was there, just waiting to make every drive thrilling. Track tested, off-road proven, performance for everything you drive. Drive better with K&N.
Get ready for new Kias with 0% financing at Lou Fuse Kia Evansville. The Ready, Set, Drive sales event is happening now. Get ready for big savings on new K4s, only $169 a month. You're set with Sorrentos, just $279 a month or 0% financing. Drive home Tellurides, now $299 a month or 0%. At Lou Fuse Kia Evansville, home of the 200,000-mile warranty. Lou Fuse, we are family.
Your car deserves more than just any pit stop. At Lucas Oil Center, we deliver award-winning service you can trust. From fast oil changes, our 21-point inspection, and a coffee bar with a smile, it's all done right, every time. While you relax in our spacious lounge, we're making sure your car runs at its best. And with our signature Nitro Wash, your ride won't just run smooth, it'll shine like new. Drive safe, drive smart. Choose your local, family-owned Lucas Oil Center.
Can I get 4 guavas? No, the big ones. Thanks.
Ignite your taste with new NOS Energy Grand Prix Guava. Buy it now at a store near you.
P1 Australia Racing Components, sprint cars, midgets, and micros, specializing in engine heaters, oil heat mats, stainless headers, and black titanium. World headquarters in Indianapolis and also serving New Zealand and Australia. P1 ships daily. Visit our website at p1australia.com. P1 Australia Racing Components. For pricing, info, and more, slide into our Facebook and Instagram.
Go harder, faster, stronger with Rod End Supply. Whether you are running industrial, farming equipment, or a race car, Rod End Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field in performance. Our superior design means our rod ends last longer and perform better, giving you the edge on the track and saving you money. Contact Rod End Supply or order online today at rodendsupply.com. We don't just sell them, we race them. rodendsupply.com. Serving the racing community for over 30 years.
Who's it gonna be? Evan Distian steals it here tonight.
Power Power up your ride with True Brand Fuel Joules, the only time-release fuel treatment on the market. Fuel Joules cleans and lubricates while restoring power and performance, and its patented time-release formula increases fuel economy by up to 7%, saving you money at the pump, tank full after tank full. Plus, Fuel Joules races for a cause. We partner with the National Breast Cancer Foundation to fund life-saving early detection screenings for women in need. Visit TrueBrandProducts.com to get your bottle today.
Welcome back to the broadcast here on FloRacing. Feature events going to be coming up here in just a moment. The great thing about doing a little bit of track prep, that's allowed the sun to dip down just a little bit in the horizon. Kokomo 410 Sprint Car is going to be up first. We will end the evening out with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship going 30 laps. Again, if you haven't done so, make sure you download the My Race Pass app so you can follow along with all the action, rosters, lineups, live timing and scoring, results, and more, all when you download the app. Again, 25 drivers on hand here tonight. We're back at it tomorrow here at Kokomo. Again, same time, 6 o'clock. Cars expected to be on track tomorrow. The drivers meeting at 5:30 down in the pits. Sprint cars are part of the program tomorrow as well. Again, Colton Robinson hanging out down at the front of the grandstands. Go down and meet that young and up-and-coming driver, a part of the KKM Kerbagajanian field of talent here this weekend. So the horn about to sound down in the pits. In fact, there it goes. The siren initiated down in the pits. So we'll have drivers on the clock to make their way into the staging lanes for the sprint car feature event. 21 410 sprint car drivers on hand here this evening. Great field of drivers. Arizona, Louisiana, Indiana, California, Texas, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, all represented in your sprint car field here this evening. Speaking of Arizona, Cameron LaRose, a part of the Petty Performance, Avante Windows and Doors, Jugo Superfoods team, and the 13P slated to go for the pole position. And the driver we saw win his sprint car heat race earlier, full-time this year behind the wheel of the Bennick Enterprises, number 2B, going to go alongside him. Jake, this could be a really, really interesting 25-lap feature event.
Interesting for sure. Just like you just said, Cameron LaRose will be starting up there in the front. It'll be Shelby hitting alongside him. Both those drivers won their heat races earlier tonight. Neither of them took home a feature win last year. I'm not sure if either of them have ever won a feature here ever. So Cameron LaRose, Shelby hitting. It'll be great watching them duke it out as it gets underway with Rylan Gray and Robert Ballou right behind them. And then KTJ rounds out the top 5. Robert Ballou, Kevin Thomas Jr., CJ Leary, 4th, 5th, and 6th. You know, they are going to be fighting to get their way up to the top. But just like you said, Cameron LaRose, Shelby hitting, fighting it out up there in the front. 25 laps is going to be a great one to start.
Robert Ballou, no stranger to victory lane here at Kokomo. Of course, winner of the BC Double last year. Unfortunately, his season cut short. Able to go in, get a little bit of surgery, get some healing, and back out here for the 2026 campaign. Of course, he'll be on the road full-time with us this season on the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship side of things. Next week, we're down at Bloomington and then head down to Tri-State and Hobstadt for the Spring Showdown. Bloomington Speedway Friday night, that is the Larry Rice Classic, so we hope you can make your way out to be a part of that event. If you missed it earlier, we were talking about Indiana Sprint Week coming up here, and a big announcement coming out about that. Every night now going to be $10,000 to win, a $50,000 point fund up for grabs as well. The champion of Indiana Sprint Week getting $25,000. And just if you get, say, 40 drivers a night, minus IMS at a 30-driver field, that is a limited field there, plus the point fund, you're close to clearing $400,000 in payout just for that week of racing alone. So definitely something you want to mark on the calendar. We're talking Indiana Sprint Week. That kicks off at the dirt track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on Thursday night, July 23rd. Speaking of speed weeks, Indiana Midget Week, going to be here before you know it. It kicks off at Circle City Raceway on Tuesday, June 9th. Paragon the following night, Lincoln Park Speedway, Bloomington, Tri-State, and of course that wraps up right here at Kokomo on Sunday, June 14th. Gives us a day to travel out to kick off Eastern Storm, which is this year presented by Yokohama Tire. That kicks off with the Jesse Hockett Classic out at Grandview Speedway, Bridgeport, Big Diamond, Williams Grove, A 2-for-1 ticket deal at Port Royal with sprint cars as well as Silver Crown. And, of course, it all wraps up at Action Track USA on Sunday, June 21st. Of course, you can see all of these events and more when you go to USACRacing.com. Drivers are on the clock. You've got a lineup, sir.
I am ready to go again. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What is up, race fans? Welcome again to Kokomo Speedway. We are just about ready for a main feature action as our local non-wing 410 Kokomo Sprint's going to roll their way on. And as Brian had said, we are looking at 25 laps of feature action, 21 sprint cars in the field tonight for our first day main feature of the night. We talked about how it's going to be Cameron LaRose. Cameron LaRose is going to lead the field to the green up on row 1. He'll be on the inside of Shelby Hinton. Cameron LaRose and Shelby Hinton make up row 1 with Rylan Gray, Robert Ballou in row 2. And Kevin Thomas Jr. and C.J. Leary. KTJ, C.J. Leary make up row 3. That is a heck of a row 3. As we talked about night 1 last year for the Kokomo Grand Prix, it was Kevin Thomas Jr. and Robert Ballou that duked it out. They duked it out in that first feature of the year last year. Kevin Thomas Jr. got the win in the end, but it came down to the wire between those two. We saw them going at it in the heat race earlier this evening. Robert Ballou made the pass on KTJ, and Robert Ballou got the win in the first heat race of the night. Robert Ballou will roll off on the outside of row 2, KTJ on the inside of row 3. And 4th and 5th, we'll see if one of those guys can get up to the top. So Cameron LaRose, Shelby Hinton up on the front row. Neither of those drivers got a feature last year, and neither of them able to grab a feature last year. Will they be able to start the year with a feature here? Shelby Hinton did grab a heat race win last year, and Cameron LaRose opened up 2026 with a heat race win tonight. They'll roll off of row 1. Row 2 is Rylan Gray on the inside of Robert Ballou, the Madman. Rylan Gray got a heat race win last year. Robert Ballou with 3 heat race wins last year, as well as the heat race win tonight. Robert Ballou also won 2 features last year here at Kokomo Speedway. And Robert Ballou will be looking to add another one to his feature count. Then behind them in row 3, Kevin Thomas Jr. KTJ on the inside of C.J. Leary. That will be row 3. C.J. Leary did not grab a feature win last year, but did grab 3 heat race wins and also was King of the Hill on SmackDown night. Sprint car SmackDown King of the Hill, C.J. Leary was able to win that one. And we'll see if he can grab the feature win here tonight. He'll be coming from P6 on the outside of row 3. Behind them in row 4, Trey Osborne in the 6T out of Columbus, Ohio. He'll be on the inside of Zach Pretorius. That'll make up row 4 with David Gasper on the inside of Jake Swanson for row 5. Jackson Sloan in the 16 on the inside of Gavin Miller. Remember that Gavin Miller in the 21 AZ. Gavin Miller was fast time earlier tonight for the non-wing 410 sprints. He's going to have to come from the outside of row 6 is Gavin Miller. He'll have some work to do, but he's got 25 laps to get it done. We'll see if he can fight his way up and fight for a top spot. Looking at row 7, it's Jack Hoyer in the 57. He'll be on the inside of Adam Taylor in the 8T. We saw Adam Taylor get involved in a little spin earlier in the heat race. Him and David Hare had a little bit of a scuffle. We'll hope that both of them come back out for feature action later tonight. Adam Taylor will roll off 14th on the outside of row 7. Row 8 will be Aaron Davis in the 11 car. He'll be on the inside of Dalton Stevens in the 2BX. That makes up row 8. Dalton Stevens coming to us from Scurry, Texas. Row 9 is going to be Camden Winter in the 84. He'll be on the inside of Mike Miller in the 33M. Then row 10 is going to be Derek Hastings in the 32M on the inside of David Hare in the 44. Remember, we saw David Hare get caught up in a little bit of a scuffle earlier this evening in the heat race. And we'll hope that he is able to roll it back out tonight for feature action. And then Landon Butler will round out the field in 21st for a 21-car field for 25 laps. For our Kokomo Sprints here tonight, we will open things up with feature action with the NOS Energy Drink Midgets waiting on deck. So again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here tonight, Saturday night, our first one of the year here at Kokomo Speedway. As it's Derek Hastings and Mike Miller that both roll on here in the 33M and the 32M. Mike Miller in the 33M, Derek Hastings in the 32 as our first Kokomo Sprints start to roll their way on. They are ready for 25 laps of feature action. Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, as Brian has said, we are back at it tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we are going at it again, night 2 of the Kokomo Grand Prix, opening one of the year. Here at Cookamo Speedway, the man himself, Brian Hulbert, throwing some shirts down here on the front stretch. The voice of USAC out here doing double duty. He is getting the crowd hyped up. He's playing voice of USAC and the hype man. Let him hear it, ladies and gentlemen. He wants to hear us tonight. Brian Hulbert, voice of USAC, getting the crowd hyped up. Shirt frisbee up into the crowd. Good catch there, young man, and he is going to leave tonight with a lucky souvenir. Congratulations to our lucky catchers out there. Brian Hulbert getting the crowd hyped up for the Kokomo Sprints feature action here tonight. Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, here at Kokomo Speedway, some of our events that will be going down here at the track all year long. Of course, we are in action tomorrow night, night 2 of the Kokomo Grand Prix. As I've said, in 2 weeks, High Limit is in town for the Driven to Save Lives Brian Clausen Hero Classic. The All-Star Circuit of Champions makes their stop here. That is a 2-night event, May 8th, May 9th. That is a Friday and a Saturday. We hope to see you race fans here for that. But then, just after that, May 16th, we are back yet again with the 2X Monster Trucks. Monster Trucks, ladies and gentlemen, here at Kokomo Speedway. That goes down May 16th. No sprint cars, no racing that night. We are throwing down with Monster Truck action. That goes down May 16th right here at Kokomo Speedway. And then, of course, May 24th, the BC Indiana Double. We are back yet again here in 2026 with the BC Indiana Double. Indy 500 goes down right here as well. We are in action here at Kokomo Speedway. Looking forward to the month of June. As Brian was saying earlier, Indiana Midget Week. USAC will be back in town with the National Midgets and our non-wing 410 sprints, just like you folks are seeing here tonight. The Midgets for USAC as well as our local sprints in action. That is June 14th for Indiana Midget Week. Whole week of midget action. They close it out right here at Kokomo Speedway, Indiana's baddest bull ring. And then looking forward to the month of July, our 4th of July weekend here at Kokomo Speedway. Make sure you folks are here Friday night, July 3rd. Friday night, July 3rd, we will again see our non-wing 410 sprints in action, and we will see modifieds and thunder cars. That goes down on July 3rd. We'll also see modifieds and thunder cars on the BC Indiana Double nights, the Indy 500 night. Modifieds and thunder cars, first time of the year that we will see them here at Kokomo Speedway. That goes down May 24th. July 25th, Indiana Sprint Week back in town. Indiana Sprint Week is back in town with USAC and the USAC National AMSOIL Sprint Car Championship. That goes down July 25th, where USAC makes their stop here at Kokomo in Indiana Sprint Week. But then August, ladies and gentlemen, if there's one you're going to mark on your calendar, August 27th, August 28th, August 29th, USAC is in town yet again for the Sprint Car Smackdown. And that is going to be the 15th edition of the Sprint Car Smackdown. It's going down right here. That is a Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday. Mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. You will not want to miss the Sprint Car Smackdown here at Kokomo. In the month of September, we're just running one night, September 23rd, where High Limit is in town yet again. The Interstate Batteries High Limit Racing Series. September 23rd, they are in town here at Kokomo Speedway. And then our final one of the year, as always, the 20th edition of the Kokomo Clash goes down October 9th and 10th. We hope you are here for that, ladies and gentlemen, to help us close out the year here at Indiana's baddest bull ring. The 20th edition of the Kokomo Clash goes down October 9th and 10th here at Kokomo Speedway. So Kokomo Sprints out here, and we are going to get everyone lined up into their finalized field positions, and once we are good to go, we are going to fire them off to the green. And again, it's going to be 25 laps around here for a main feature action for our Kokomo Sprints. Last year, Kevin Thomas Jr. opened up with a win here on night 1. He is out here in the field. He rolls off P5 on the inside of CJ Leary. Can KTJ open up the year back-to-back last year and get it done here again this year? Last year, it was Robert Ballou that really gave him the challenge, and we saw Robert Ballou get the upper hand earlier in the heat race, but that was just an 8-lap heat race. We got 25 laps of an A-main feature waiting on deck. But, of course, Cameron LaRose, Shelby Hinton, those two start up on the front row. Those two won their heat races earlier tonight. Can they carry that momentum here into feature action here tonight. Rylan Gray will roll off third. On the inside of Robert Ballou, the Madman, rolls off fourth. So KTJ, Kevin Thomas Jr., and Robert Ballou, the only drivers in the field that got a feature win here last year. Ballou got 2, KTJ got 2, and as I said, here night 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix, Robert Ballou is the KTJ. KTJ is the defending opening winner here for night 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix. Can KTJ go back-to-back and defend his opening night title? Can someone else throw their name into the hat for the opening night win? We are not far from finding out, ladies and gentlemen. So field is getting doubled up. Our track crew rolling their way on from the backstretch back there. We are just about ready to get to green again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Whether you're here in the grandstands, we thank you so much for being here. Whether you're watching live on FloRacing, thank you so much for tuning in. And ladies and gentlemen, if you would like, we invite you to rise on up and give a wave and a salute to the Kokomo Sprints as they come on by. This is wave lap time. It's the first one of the year, ladies and gentlemen. These are our local non-wing 410 Kokomo Sprints. This is Kokomo Speedway. This is Indiana's baddest bull ring. And they have got it lit up back there on the backstretch. Looks great. Thank you, fans, so much for giving the drivers a salute here tonight. It is 1 to go this time by, ladies and gentlemen. They will come back to the green. Up in the front, Cameron LaRose, Shelby Hinton on the front row, Rylan Gray, Robert Ballou, Kevin Thomas Jr., C.J. Leary, right of the top 3 rows, Trey Osborne, Zach Pretorius, David Gasper, Jake Swanson. That is our top 10 here in our first one of the year. Cameron LaRose, Shelby Hinton, both won their heat race earlier tonight. No feature wins for them last year. Can they grab their first one here and open up the year with a feature win? Rylan Gray sits right there in third. Robert Ballou, KTJ, those are the ones to watch. They went at it last year. It's feature time, ladies and gentlemen. We've got them all out there. Kokomo Sprints through 3 and 4. This is what we've all been waiting for. Kokomo Sprints to the green in feature action. Not wasting any time. That's the Madman sliding it through 3 and 4. Trying to cross back down is Shelby Hinton who will take it back. But here comes Robert Ballou. Slide job again through 1 and 2. Can he hold on to it this time? Here comes Shelby Hinton. Hammers down the throttle down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Wheel to wheel as these two are going to duke it out for the top spot straight out the gate. Shelby Hinton's going to be under attack from Cameron LaRose, though. You can already see Robert Ballou trying to settle in and trying to widen the gap. Just like that, he goes from P4 to P1. Now Cameron LaRose and Shelby Hinton duke it out for that second and third spot. Robert Ballou's going to try to settle in and widen the gap between these two. Robert Ballou, Cameron LaRose up in the top with Shelby Hinton, Trey Osborne, C.J. Leary that round out the top 5 here as the first laps tick off. 25 laps goes by quick here at Kokomo, ladies and gentlemen, especially with the sprints out there. They are flying. We're watching Trey Osborne, KTJ, 4th and 5th. That's Shelby Hinton that creeps into the screen in that third spot, roaring by us on the Cookout speed shot. Robert Ballou hanging on the top spot. He's trying to widen the gap quickly up there. We're watching here Gavin Miller. That's Gavin Miller on the left side of the screen in that 21 AZ. He has charged up to P6 just like that. KTJ trying to attack here on the outside of Trey Osborne. KTJ's got work to do, but you cannot count him out. If there's anyone that has the chance to fight up there and chase down Robert Ballou, you know KTJ has the chance. Stuck back here in traffic, though, when Robert Ballou is strong and smooth out in front. Robert Ballou, Cameron LaRose, Shelby Hinton, Trey Osborne. But this is Trey Osborne sneaking by on the inside, but yellow flag is going to wave. That's Camden Winter right there on the left side of the screen, and that black and yellow 84 coming to a stop. That is Camden Winter right there. That's going to bring out this yellow flag coming to a stop right here on the entrance of 1 and 2. Robert Ballou was checking out up there in the front. Shelby Hinton, Trey Osborne, KTJ were duking it out for that 3rd, 4th, 5th spot. Robert Ballou goes from 4th to 1st in just a couple laps. He was checked in, trying to widen the gap up there in the front. Yellow flag's going to reset everything. We've still got 18 to go. How will this yellow flag shake things up? Can Robert Ballou stay strong and smooth up there in the front? Can someone find the time behind him and be able to close the gap? Well, we'll find out once we get back to green. Track crew on the scene over there giving the push to our boy Camden Winter. We'll see if he's able to stay with us or if they pull him down into the infield. But that is Camden Winter that brings out the yellow. It looks like he'll be fired back up. He's going to stay with us, and we'll be back to green here in just a short moment. Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, 50-50 tickets. 50-50 tickets are for sale under the grandstands here on the front stretch as well as the gift shop and at concessions back there on the back stretch. Winning 50-50 ticket will be announced soon. So last chance to grab yourself some 50-50 tickets if they're still available, and your chance to leave here with a little extra cash here tonight. Kokomo Sprints coming out of 3 and 4, grabbing the 1 to go sign, coming back to green next time around. Robert Ballou is our leader. Cameron Rose, Shelby Hinton, Trey Osborne, KTJ make up the top 5. KTJ, we were talking about how it was him and Robert Ballou really duking it out last year. Robert Ballou has got it wired in right here in the first one of the year here at Kokomo. Can KTJ fight his way back up? Cameron LaRose, Shelby Hinton, Trey Osborne sit right there in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Does anyone have anything for the Madman? He looks strong, he looks smooth, but 18 to go. Kokomo Sprints out of 3 and 4 to the green. See, just like that, he's able to widen the gap between him and the rest of the field. Just like that, down the backstretch, a gaggle of cars duke it out for 3rd, 4th, 5th. This is KTJ looking for the high side. He's looking for 2 for 1 around Trey Osborne. He's looking for Shelby Hinton as well. They're nearly 3 wide down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Shelby Hinton in the middle. KTJ high side hustler on the top side. 2 spots for KTJ. He's up into P3. That's KTJ that moves up into the 3rd spot. This is our leaders, Robert Ballou. You see KTJ back there. He's moved up into 3rd. Can he try to join this fight for the top spot? Cameron LaRose is keeping Robert Ballou honest, but Robert Ballou looks strong and confident. But I think Cameron LaRose may be under attack from KTJ here in just a moment for this 2nd spot. KTJ not wasting any time. Trey Osborne and Shelby Hinton going at it back there as well. Here comes KTJ trying to get to the inside. May look for it here through 3 and 4, but going to throw the block as LaRose down to the inside, but we know KTJ's not afraid of the high line. Cameron LaRose going to have to play some defense here. How well can he do it? Wheel to wheel through 1 and 2. Look at how he gets on the gas. KTJ takes the 2nd spot. Now can he chase down the Madman? 12 to go as he moves up into 2nd. Trey Osborne sneaking by here on the inside of Shelby Hinton. That's Gavin Miller as well. Remember, he started back in P14. He's worked his way up into 6th. You see Robert Ballou having to deal with some lap traffic here now as he is sneaking his way around. We're approaching 10 to go. It'll be 10 to go this time by for the Madman. Can he hang on for 10 more? Can we go green for 10 more? He's sneaking his way through lap traffic. He's got highway interstate here in front of him, but he is ducking and weaving his way through. 3 cars now going to separate him and KTJ. On the right side of the screen, we're watching Trey Osborne and Cameron LaRose. That's a battle for the 3rd and 4th spot. On the right side of the screen, Trey Osborne taking the spot away. He'll move up into P3. And Robert Ballou looking strong and confident over on the left side. Laps ticking off here for our Kokomo Sprints. Robert Ballou is looking good. He wants no yellow flag here in the 12 car. 7 to go for the Madman. Zach Pretorius, he is making his way up through the field. Shelby Hinton has been shuffled back to 7th here as lap traffic is trying to sneak his way around. And Zach Pretorius, they sneak around the yellow lap traffic car. Zach Pretorius and the 9Z, Gavin Miller and that 21AZ, they have both done a great job of working their way up through the field. Laps ticking off here for our Kokomo Sprints. Zach Pretorius attacking Shelby Hinton. This is Robert Ballou coming across the line, looking strong. Still a couple cars separate him and KTJ. as Gavin Miller attacks Cameron LaRose here. This is for 4th and 5th. Cameron LaRose has really charged up, Gavin Miller from 12th into 4th now as he puts the attack here on Trey Osborne. Gavin Miller able to get by Cameron LaRose, but Robert Ballou is looking strong as he rolls it through 1 and 2, 2 to go that time by. KTJ has given it everything he could give him, but out of 3 and 4, white flag in the air. It's one more time around for the Madman. Last year, it was Robert Ballou versus KTJ in a barn burner of a feature. KTJ has reeled him in as much as he can. No more cars between them. But in the end, it's the Madman, Robert Ballou, that starts off 2026. Robert Ballou wins it here at Kokomo. Robert Ballou, the Madman, starts off the year with a big win here in the Kokomo Sprint Division. Former track champion here at Kokomo Speedway, and he starts the year off strong. Another win here for Robert Ballou at Kokomo. He grabbed 2 feature wins last year. He adds another one to the list here, as again, it's Robert Ballou and KTJ. 1-2 here at Kokomo. KTJ tried to reel in Robert Ballou, but he was strong and smooth up there in the front. Was the 12 car, and he will start 2026 with a dub. Robert Ballou, our winner. KTJ, Trey Osborne, Gavin Miller, Cameron LaRose round out the top 5. Zach Pretorius, Shelby Hinton, CJ Leary, Jake Swanson, Rylan Gray are the top 10. David Gasper, 11, Dalton Stevens, 12th, Jack Hoyer, Jackson Sloan, Aaron Davis, 13th, 14th, and 15th. With Mike Miller, Camden Winter, we saw him come to the stop. He's able to grab a 17th place finish. Landon Butler, Derek Hastings, and David Hare with Adam Taylor. Those are our finishing orders here for our Kokomo Sprints as the Madman rolls it down into victory lane. And he's climbing out of the car. Let's make some noise for him, ladies and gentlemen. Our feature winner, Robert Ballou. And we're going to get a word with our feature winner. He is down there with Drake York.
The Madman Robert Ballou knows his way to BC, parked at Victory Lane here at Kokomo Speedway. There is no question about that. Multiple-time winner upon the season last year here in local sprint car competition. And he starts off 2026 with the bangs, been fast on the USAC National Trail, and parks it in Victory Lane here tonight at Kokomo Speedway. And Robert, you started 4th, but immediately bolted the lead. Take us through the first handful of laps there, just how quickly you were able to get to the front, and how important was that to control the rest of the race from there?
Well, I don't normally like starting on the front row because you don't know, and I've been coming here long enough to know what Reese and Rowdy do to the racetrack, and you know, the littlest water job and brings the racetrack back to life, and it's going to be one hell of a midget feature. I got news for everybody. So just the way that it turned out to where there was a middle lane in 3 and 4, a little tricky in 1 and 2. I don't know if it's the midget holes from getting right up by the cushion, just kind of upset the race car a little bit. But just getting a lead right away was, you know, kind of key with KT and Swanson and CJ here. You know, you obviously, it's like the half-price USAC show, you know, so it's one of them deals to where I just had to get out front and get going, and I know what my race car likes around here, and just had to not screw up as a driver.
Robert Ballou returns to his winning ways here at the Kokomo Speedway, and not to mention still dealing with an arm injury he suffered a few weeks ago in a work-related accident. He's your winner here tonight of night number 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix in the Sprint Car Division.
So congratulations again to the Madman down there. Starts off 2026 with a win here at Indiana's baddest bull ring. Not Synergy Drink Midgets National Championship going to roll their way on here in just a moment. One more quick feature rundown of the Kokomo Sprints. Robert Ballou, our winner, with KTJ, Trey Osborne, Gavin Miller, Cameron LaRose right at the top 5. Zach Pretorius, Shelby Hinton, CJ Leary, Jake Swanson, Rylan Gray are our top 10. David Gasper in 11, Dalton Stevenson 12th, Jack Hoyer 13th, Jackson Sloan 14th, Aaron Davis in 15th, with Mike Miller, Camden Winter, Landon Butler, Derek Hastings, David Hare, and Adam Taylor make up our Kokomo Sprints field. So that's going to do it for the Kokomo Sprints. That's going to do it for me tonight here, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you all so much for being here this Saturday night. Reminder that we will see the Kokomo Sprints in action again later tomorrow night, and I will see you race fans then. And for now, in the NOS Energy Drink Midgets National Championship, I'll be throwing things back over to the voice of USAC, Brian Halbert.
Thank you very much. Just a couple of minutes away from the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship feature event making its way out onto the Kokomo Speedway. Media will depart. We'll work on getting Robert back into the pit area. The horn has sounded again, 8 minutes on the clock, and half of that time has expired, so teams quickly starting to make their way into the push-off lanes. Round one of the 2026 season here for the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. Tonight's feature on night number one of the Kokomo Grand Prix is 30 laps and your lineup. Set to roll to the green like this. Driver on the pole tonight comes to you out of Prix, Ohio. Driving the Odell Motorsports, Odell Trucking, Toyota Link chassis number 18. It'll be Zach Weigel. Outside run number one. He's out of Mooresville, North Carolina. Driving the Bellwood Auto Body DC Machine, Stanton Spike Chassis, Simpson Smith Titanium number 55. That'll be Trevor Klein. Second row for the inside, it'll be Jacob Boxell at his Zanesville, Indiana. The Middle 1 Performance Products, Border Welding, Acro Lube Grease, Stanton DRC Chassis number 54. And for the fourth starting spot, you'll find Justin Grant out of Ione, California. Driving the NOS Energy Drink, PristineAuction.com, Mobile One CB Industries number 87. Fifth starter tonight, that's going to be Colton Robinson. He's out of Titusville, Florida, the Precise Tooling Solutions. TRD Mobile One Curb Records number 67K. And outside of him, out of Coleman, Alabama, the Purple Heart Foundation Metalloid 1 Acrosil MW Manufacturer number 14. The 2019 winner of the Kokomo Grand Prix, it's Kevin Thomas Jr. Looking to row four from the inside, that's going to be Gunnar Setzer to Columbus, Indiana. The Midwest 2 Mills. The Cure starts now. Stanton Link Chassis, Lee Company, Lynch Machining. Setzer Fabricating, number 43. And next to him in 19, Ethan Mitchell out of Mooresville, North Carolina. The Joy of Seating, Walker Filtration, Arai Helmets. Bundy Built Honda, Spike number 19M. Little Bundy, Ethan Mitchell. Making her USAC National Midget debut and first career feature start at Huntersville, North Carolina, the Precision Performance Concrete Toyota Link Chassis number 94. It's Miss Hayden Wise. And outside of Hayden, you're going to find Rick and Reese at Canyon, Texas, the Sierra Towing and Crushing Speedway Total Link Chassis, Chandler Grand Prix, Jeff Reese owned number 20Q. B out of Beverly, Louisiana, that is Shelby Hinton. The 97 of Gavin Miller out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. He will roll from the inside of row number 8 in the Sound Gear. TRD Mobile 1 KKM, Kerbagajania number 97. And next to him, he is out of Gilbert, Arizona. The AME Electrical, Jugo Superfood, Stanton Spike number 19 AZ of Hayden Reinbold. Out of Kennedale, Texas, the England Machine and Tool High Performance Lubricant Turbo Suspension number 7TX, Kyle Jones. He'll go from inside of row number 9. Next to him, the 98K. Out of Sheffield, United Kingdom, the J. Davis Scrap Metal Speedway Total Link Chassis, KKM, Kerbagajania number 98 of Brandon Carr. Jacob Denny from the 19 starting spot, rather. Out of Galloway, Ohio, the JBL Audio, TRD Mobile 1 Toyota number 67. Next to him, Logan Seavey out of Sutter, California, driving the Indy Power Sports, Stanton Spike, Abacus Racing number 57. 11th row, inside line, Todd Cleaver. He's out of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. The Badger Music and Equipment, Club Lamarck. Link Hesslinger, BB7, number 55K. Next to him, He comes to you out of Concord, California. The Yellow Key Enterprises S-Slinger Spike number 99, and that is Robert Carson. 23rd starter. He's out of Beaver Creek, Ohio. The Great Company, Speedway Toyota, Spike Chassis, Mulch Express of Wisconsin. Joe's Landscape, number 14L. It'll be Mac Leopard. And from 24th and 45, Bradley Cox out of Black Forest, Colorado. The Redline Performance Roofing, Stanton Lake Chassis, number 45. And your final starter is set to be Adam Taylor. He's out of Wheatfield, Indiana, driving the Horizon Carpentry Mongo Crane Mac Electric, number 7T. As that'll be your lineup for tonight's feature event here on night number 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. The cars are staged, and Drake has one to watch.
Oh, it's everybody's favorite. Everybody knows it. The Dirt Draft one to watch. It is now time to get into that. And before we get into our Dirt Draft one to watch, just want to remind everybody, you can still play with our friends at Dirt Draft if you enter in the Rookie League, but you got to hurry because it locks when the green flag drops here in tonight's NOS Energy Drink USAC National Midget Championship feature event. The driver I'm keeping on, I would say I'm looking for him to have a good run. Maybe not win the race, but definitely to be our hard charger by evening's end. That is Jacob Denny rolling off from 19th. His day got off to a great start in Learn Lab qualifying as he'd go third fastest on the field. Unfortunately, disaster struck in his heat race. He'd start 6th, make his way into the top 5. Unfortunately, that left rear tire started to go down on him, and eventually it came apart, and that was heat race done for Jacob. So that demotes him all the way back to the inside of row number 10. But let us not forget, out of the 3 USAC National Midget races ran here at the Kokomo Speedway last year, Jacob Denny won 2 of them. As they say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, including this event here last year. So Jacob Denny has good mojo in this event too, not just at the Kokomo Speedway. And I say we're looking for a really good run tonight because we do consider Jacob Denny to be a championship contender by season's end when we get down to the beach at Ventura Raceway in beautiful Ventura, California. So everyone talks about what makes a champion, and a lot of the times you'll get people's responses that say, well, it's about making a bad night good. I don't need to sugarcoat it. This is a bad night so far, but it's going to be interesting to see what damage control is like here for Jacob Denny and the KKM 67 crew. He rolls off from 19th.
Long way to go. We'll see if he can get it done. Thank you very much. Officials taking one last look, making sure everybody has made the call for a feature event. Couple of more making their way out of the staging lanes. Zach Weil in the 18, the Odell Motorsports, Odell Trucking, Toyota Link Chassis entry at a Prix, Ohio. Victory lane last year in Badger competition up at Angel Park.
Yellow and push, guys, yellow and push.
See if he can break into victory lane here tonight. One other win in USAC National Midget Competition. Tonight, start number 32 of his career. He has 4 top 5s and a dozen top 10 finishes to his name. The 55, a Trevor Klein. He'll make his 5th career feature start in USAC National Midget Competition here tonight in search of his first career win, top 5 and top 10 finish. Behind the wheel, that number 55 machine sitting in good position to do so here tonight. Boxel, this will be start number 16 of his career. He has 2 top 5s and 4 top 10 finishes coming into this evening's competition. Of course, Justin Grant, no stranger to victory lane. He's done so 20 times in his career, 230 feature starts. 96 top 5s, 161 top 10s. His percentages, 9% of the time he's in victory lane, 42% of the time in the top 5, and 70% of the time in the top 10. Colton Robinson, Kevin Thomas Jr., tonight's LearnLab.com quick qualifier. Again on the outside of run number 3. Setzer, then Mitchell. Wise, then Reese. That's your top 10. Gray, then Mesereau. Drake, then Hinton. Miller, then Reinbold. Jones, then Carr. Denny, then Seavey. Logan. Problems during his heat race. Was not able to take a competitive green flag lap. They were not able to make it back out of the end-of-medal finishing work here. It buries him deep in this one. Cleaver making his first career A feature start in USAC National Midget Competition. Carson in the 99, Leopard in the 14. Cox, then Taylor. Getting everybody in their proper starting position as they trail the Toyota Racing Development Pace Truck. Don't forget, tomorrow, night number 2 of the Kokomo Grand Prix. Cars set to be on track at 6 o'clock as they begin to make their way onto the back straightaway. They'll break rank from side by side to 4 wide. Ladies and gentlemen, our drivers, salute to you with that. Light up them cell phones and rise to your feet. It's time to make some noise for the cars and the mighty driving stars of the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. Field back into their formation. Toyota Racing Development Pace Truck down to the infield for the first time in 2026. It is time to sit back, relax, and enjoy 30 trips around the Cookamo Speedway because, race fans, this is what you saved your lunch money for. To the green on night number 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix. Well, you got one lead, you got a bunch chasing here as they work into turns 3 and 4. Here comes the slide for the 54. Boxel going to try to be the king on lap number 1. Does he have it at the line? They're side by side. Weigel in a dead tie. It is the 18 of Zach Weigel being scored first on the opening lap. 0-0-0 across the board. Boxel changing tactics, tries the high side, the Metalloid number 54. Bobbles just a little bit. That time, Weigel has about a 3/10 of a second advantage. Justin Grant, in the meantime, trying to take away second. Couldn't get there fast enough. He rides in third. Here comes Klein and KTJ now. Kevin Thomas Jr. in the 14, working around the bottom of the 55, working the outside. That'll be the fight for the 4th spot. And the turns 1 and 2, 14 low, 55 high. Advantage will be to KTJ as they work on to the far side of the speedway. Fresh off a runner-up finish in the sprint car here. Looking at third, couldn't get there fast enough. Justin Grant looking for second, likewise not able to pedal hard enough as they are trying to close in on Zach Weigel. Trying to take the Odell Trucking number 18 back to victory lane here in USAC National Midget Competition. Four Kings Racing with something to say about it. The 54 stalking, closing down within a car length as they work through turns 1 and 2. Loses a little bit on the back straightaway. Diamonds are down through turns 3 and 4. Weigel up wide, the 54 down low. Challenge for the lead, a half a car, .062 at the line. It's going to be Weigel protecting the inside line of the entrance to turn number 1. Not deterred. Here comes Boxel. He'll try the inside into turn number 3. Weigel on the defense now. That's going to allow Justin Grant, though, to close in as they duke it out for the top spot. 3 cars at the front of the field looking for the race lead. Justin Grant in the 87. Winner on night number 2 of the Grand Prix last year. Going to diamond her down across turns 3 and 4 to the high side, to the low side. He'll drop it down low and he'll have second. Grant into the runner-up spot. Weigel has got company of Bruin behind him here. Grant again going to roll to the middle this time into turns 3 and 4. Brings it out low at the exit of turn number 4. Looking off lap number 9. It's still Weigel in command. Grant is there. Boxel, KTJ, then Klein, Setzer, Denny Wise, Drake, and Thomas Meserol right now your top 10. Patiently around the bottom side of the speedway at both ends. Zach Weigel Trying to hold his line and not feel the pressure from Justin Grant. He'll take a peek to the inside. That time in the exit turn number 2. He's going to try to get the line this time into turns 3 and 4. Tries to get Weigel to overdrive the inside. Not going to happen that time. The NOS Energy 87 about to have company once again from Jacob Boxel. Metalloid, 4 Kings, number 54, was right on his back bumper now, losing ground as Kevin Thomas Jr. right there in the mix. Going to look to the inside for the 3rd position. Can he grab it? Round to the front straightaway we go, and it will be the 54 holding on to the show position right now. Dealing with traffic. Weigel held up for a moment, trying to get around. I believe that is Cleaver right in front of him here as they work their turns 3 and 4. He'll get held to the bottom. Justin Grant going to set sail to the outside. New leader this time down the front straightaway. Justin Grant put the whip tour to the outside. Exiting turn number 4, he'll take over with 13 laps completed. Weigel back to 2nd. Jacob Boxel running in 3rd. Caution. Caution coming out. The 81G of Gray had stalled, and right as the caution lights came on, the car able to refire and continue on. In traffic, Justin Grant capitalizes through turns 3 and 4. Says the heck with the bottom, I'm going to the high side, and sets sail. Takes over. Zach Weigel back to 2nd. Jacob Boxel in 3rd. Kevin Thomas Jr. in 4th. Trevor Klein in 5th. Gunnar Setzer in 6th. Jacob Denny in 7th. Cale Drake in 8th. Ethan Mitchell in 9th. Hayden Wise in 10th. Colton Robinson in 11th, Thomas Meserol in 12th, Shelby Hinton in 13th, Brecken Reese in 14th, Gavin Miller in 15th. Interesting to see what happens on the restart. Again, single file through the NOS Energy start can. Drake, what do you got?
Well, first off, Brian, I agree with you. This is going to be a very interesting restart. But Zach Weigel, who has led a majority of this race, now runs 2nd. In the last 4 months, he's raced about 9 times, including the Chili Bowl. And last year was a very cutback schedule for Zach. Teamed up with Pat O'Dell for the majority of the 2026 season with the NOS Energy Drink USAC National Midget Championship. I think it's simply remarkable that he's racing with a guy like Justin Grant, who does nothing but race pretty much nonstop all year long after only running those 9 races, or rather those few races that we've talked about in the last handful of months. So it'll be interesting to see if he's got anything for JG, but it's going to be tough to pass Grant, especially at a place like Kokomo.
Absolutely. Justin Grant leading. Weigel, Boxel, KTJ, Trevor Klein. Again, your top 5. 13 laps completed. In 30 the distance, just shy of the midpoint. Round of the NOS Energy start can. We're back underway. Weigel getting challenged on the restart for the runner-up spot. Nobody able to make their way by now. Trying to get a 2-for-1 sail. Here comes the 55 working inside. Good drive of the exit at turn number 2. He'll get 1. Able to get by Kevin Thomas Jr. He takes over the 4th spot. KTJ back to 5th. Kevin through the middle groove. Trying to make hay on the back straightaway, but Trevor Klein really finding launch at the exit turn number 2. 2 laps in a row. He's been able to pick him off. He's up into the 3rd spot of the Bellwood Auto Body number 55 machine. Enters low, keeps it tucked down. You see the car just dig in and drive. He's going to close right up on Zach Weigel, but nobody's closing up on Justin Grant right now. Comes around to click off lap number 16. His advantage 1.191 seconds. Weigel a little bit better drive that time at the exit. Turn number 2. Klein still running in 3rd. Kevin Thomas here in the meantime up into the 4th spot. They get Jacob Boxel shuffle back to the 5th position. Now he'll fall to 6th. Jacob Denny in the 67. From 19th has made his way up to the 5th spot. Denny, winner last year on night number 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix, trying to come from deep and see if he can back up that victory here. He's still got a ways to go with 18 laps completed of 30. He's into the top 5 and he's challenging for 4th onto the back straightaway. Trevor Klein, you got company, and it's not the kind you've got invited to dinner. Not able to get the run that time as Justin Grant, nearly 2 seconds to the good right now, is just shy of a straightaway between him and Zach Weigel. Kevin Thomas running in 3rd, shifting his line around that time. He's going to diamond her down through turns 3 and 4. He's going to close right up on Weigel this time in turns 1 and 2. The low line, the preferred line at that end of the racetrack right now. 3 and 4 is where we see him moving around. They run top, middle, and bottom as the 67 clears on the back straightaway. He will move him into the 4th spot. Jacob Denny takes over the 4th position with the JBL Audio KKM car, making Janie number 67. He'll set sights on the Purple Heart Foundation of the 14, and Kevin Thomas Jr. is your leader in the meantime, is starting to deal with traffic. 8 laps remaining, about to be 7 to go. Grant by the 55, now going to work at the 70th. Taylor, pass for 3rd, here he comes. Jacob Denny. Short slides Kevin Thomas at the exit of turn number 4. Time running out though, as Weigel gets by the 55, who's a lap down, trails your leader 2.494 seconds. Daney from 19th to 3rd, Kevin Thomas Jr. 4th, Trevor Klein in 5th, Boxel, Setzer, Ethan Mitchell, Cale Drake, and Colton Robinson in the 67K right now running out your top 10. 5 laps to go. Justin Grant coming around to make it 4 to go. 2.667 now between himself and the 18. Weigel better be on the lookout because Jacob Denny starting to reel him in quickly here in the closing laps. He'll come around next time to 2 to go. Grant with a pair of lap cars ahead of him, one behind him here as they work into turns 3 and 4. White flag coming next time by. Boy, things just about got hairy there as the 81, the car suddenly dying and losing power at the exit turn number 4, right as your leader was coming up behind him. Able to get by quickly, avoids contact. Lap coat's going to fly this time for Justin Grant, 87. 2-time winner on the season with the USAC Gainesville Sprint Car National Championship. He's going to add the 2nd series to the book here tonight, the first time in 2026. He's going to victory lane in midget action. Justin Grant, your winner on night number 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix. Zach Weigel in 2nd, Jacob Denny in 3rd, Kevin Thomas Jr. in 4th, Jacob Boxel in 5th, Trevor Klein in 6th, Gunnar Setzer in 7th, Cale Drake, Shelby Hinton, and Ethan Mitchell unofficially rounding out your top 10. Night number 1 of the 2026 season in the books. And he will start things off with a bang. Zach Weigel crossing 2nd tonight. Jacob Denny, what a run from 19th to 3rd. Kevin Thomas Jr. in 4th. Jacob Boxel in 5th. Trevor Klein in 6th. Gunnar Setzer in 7th. Cale Drake in 8th. Shelby Hinton in 9th. And Ethan Mitchell unofficially rounding out your top 10 here this evening. As he will roll down to the BC Parked at Victory Lane. When it comes to wins, nobody's got it more figured out than Justin Grant. Whether it's sprint cars or midgets, he's going to start to make his way up top for the first time this season. And for the 21st time in his career, he's a winner with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. Give him a hand, Justin Grant. '21st win with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship, his 97th overall USAC national score. And if we're counting wins unofficially here at Kokomo, that's 18 in his career. He was 5th on night number 1 last year. He's a winner here tonight. He's going to come around. The hugs, the handshakes, and Christy Leary standing by.
Comes out the gate swinging on night number 1 of the 2026 USAC NOS Energy Drink National Midget Season for Justin Grant on his quest to a championship with the Midget Series. And Justin, when we are lucky enough to get this Kokomo Grand Prix in, when the weather cooperates and everything goes well, is there just something so validating for you knowing that the season starts here at Kokomo?
Yeah. You know, I love Kokomo Speedway, and I love winning here even more. And no, it's awesome to get the first one and get the first one of the season out of the way. You know, we were good here last year with Chad and this Los Angeles Drink 87, and felt really good again tonight, and really excited for the rest of the year. You know, not only here but the whole midget schedule.
And what a good battle between you and Jacob Boxell on your way up to the front of the field. We all know that getting midgets into smaller spaces is a little bit easier than some of the other divisions of racing here with the USAC National Series. How good does it feel to be back in a division where you can race hard like that and still get by on your way?
Yeah. The midgets are fun. They're dicey, and they take a little bit different discipline, right? Like it's you can squeeze them into smaller holes and make things happen, but then they're harder to finish on the other end because then the motor bogs and guy drive back by you. So they're easier to get yourself in and get by the guy, but they're harder to keep you behind, or harder to keep him behind you. So you got to kind of play things a little different than you do in a sprint car, and even the way you drive the racetrack is, it's pretty much the same to be a mid-pack car in both. You drive them both the same, but to find those last few percent, it's quite a bit different than sprint car to midget, especially to place you're familiar with. And I've got so much sprint car habit here that I find myself having to kind of like be conscious of that and be conscious of breaking those habits when I get in the midget. But fortunately, Chad and Cam and everybody on this Nos Energy Drink number 87 is giving me a great race car and a ton of fun to work with, and I can't thank them enough. Thanks to Nos Energy Drink, Pristine Auction, all the partners that make this possible, for me to be here. My wife's out there selling t-shirts, and it's a big effort all the way around. And Chad's got a family at home, and it's a lot. Everybody's out here, working hard, and to give me the opportunity to come up here and race in front of all you people. I really appreciate it.
97 career USAC National victories for Justin Grant. We might be looking at a side quest in 2026 for 100 USAC National wins. That's Justin Grant. He's your winner of night number 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix. We'll get it to Drake.
Zach Weigel led 12 laps in the season opener for the Nos Energy Drink USAC National Midget Championship. Unfortunately, just comes up one spot short. Justin kind of snookered you there in traffic, but the thing that I brought up in the middle of this race, that you haven't raced a whole lot over really the last year. This is your first USAC National start since the Four Crown Nationals back in September. So I imagine it's got to be a bit of a bittersweet feeling knowing you were so close to your second career win, but also being so good against these guys that race pretty much every single week for a living.
Yeah, man, I think it's just a test to show how good Pat and Debbie are at this team. First night out, my first race since Chili Bowl, really second race since Four Crowns. So, I mean, these guys race damn near every day for a living. I got to go to school on Monday and fly airplanes. But very disappointing second, but I'm just very thankful that Pat and Debbie put me in this situation where I can be disappointed in a second. So, thankful to be here.
Zach Weigel with a strong runner-up here to open the 2026 season. Once again, we'll see him in the majority of the races this season with USAC. Let's get it back over to Christy Leary.
Comes home third on your podium and does so with really strong fashion. Jacob Denny, also your Rod and Supply hard charger, 19th to 3rd in this USAC Nos Energy Drink National Midget season opener. On your way through the field, the racetrack changed quite a bit throughout the course of the night. Where were you finding that you were able to make up the most ground?
I was just trying to stay low down the straightaways. Everyone that was kind of around the bottom around me kept just washing out and then getting into the slick, so I knew if I could just stay close enough, by the time we got halfway down the straightaway, I could clear them. So I had a good enough car, though, to wrap the bottom like that. It's hard because how much grip there is. Usually you get tight, want to throw the nose, but yeah, wrap the bottom nice. I think Caleb for that, and Tanner and Grant, they bust their tails all day long, especially blew that tire there all over there trying to get it changed. Just no work area at a time, and the heat race is hard to get back out. So I got to thank all them guys, Keith and Pete, JBL Toyota, and Good Luck Above. Yeah, good night considering where we started.
Yeah, you did have that setback in the heat race, which made things much more difficult going forward through the feature event. When you look at that setback and you look at the rebound that you guys were able to make, does it give you a lot of hope for this season?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We got a lot of speed, especially on a track like this. Most of the guys, or at least where I was around, was running the same line as me, and I could just pick one guy off at a time, and especially at the start, I picked a couple guys off just running through the middle. So I got a great car, just got to keep it all together and do my job.
19th to 3rd for Jacob Denny. He's 3rd on your podium, and he's your Rod and Supply hard charger for night number 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix.
Thank you very much. Quick rundown of your feature finish here tonight. Again, Justin Grant victorious. The 3rd time in his career he has won the season opening event. And the list of names that he has tied for that honor in all-time season opening wins: Steve Lotshaw, Tony Stewart, and Rich Vogler, all USAC national champions. And now his list among some of the greats on season opening victories. Grant with the win, Zach Weigel in 2nd, Jacob Denny in 3rd, Kevin Thomas Jr. in 4th, Jacob Boxell in 5th, Trevor Klein crossing in 6th tonight, Gunnar Setzer in 7th, Kel Drake in 8th, Shelby Hinton in 9th, Ethan Mitchell in 10th. Colton Robinson 11th, Gavin Miller in 12th, Thomas Mesereau 13th, Logan Seavey 14th, Hayden Reinbold in 15th, Brecken Reese in 16th, Hayden Wise in 17th, Kyle Jones in 18th, Bradley Cox in 19th, Mac Leopard in 20th. Brandon Carr, Adam Taylor, Todd Cleaver, Rylan Gray, and Robert Carson unofficially rounding out your field. As that wraps up night number 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix, we hope to see you back here tomorrow. Remember, if you can't be here live, you can see it live right here on FloRacing. On behalf of everybody here at the Kokomo Speedway, the United States Auto Club of the crew at Studio 56, my name is Brian Holbert saying good night, good luck, and God bless.